Okay.
Are we good? Are we live?
No, we're not. This is a recording. Welcome
Hi,
everyone
okay.
Twitch.
to
Hello, YouTube.
welcome everyone to Fatebreaker Part 5, I believe this is. So, last time on Fatebreaker, our heroes found themselves within the town of Daggerford along the sword coast of Pharoo. Now, they had recently convened with their maybe not long lost friends anymore in this circumstance, but
It felt like a
they
long time
found
ago.
themselves convening and wondering as to what to do next. They hoped to devise some plans based off of what Pharoo had informed them of. Not terribly sure whether to trust him yet, however. So they decided that they would go out in search of information by any means in which they could. But as they were making preparations, suddenly a there was a quake as an explosion from the northern wall of Daggerford shook the ground and jarred all of the people in the town. You all quickly made your way up to the tower and met with one Delfen Ondabarl. Apparently, he is the top high mage here within Daggerford and acts almost like a guardian of the city as well as a teacher of sorts. Now, he was not entirely sure as to who had caused the explosion. He had only met with a hooded figure briefly before they managed to escape. And so, he, having a very abnormal amount of legislative power, was able, or no, not legislative, executive power, was able to demand a lockdown of the city before performing a consultation with the Duchess of Daggerford. So, what ended up happening is both Arthur and Pharoo were taken in for questioning, even though the rest of them ended up thankfully being left alone, it would seem. They were brought to a place called the Sorcerer's Encapsulate, or Sorceller's Encapsulate, where they were put in a large common area with a bunch of other magically inclined individuals, and had to await Delfen himself, as well as a friend of his, one who could use divine magic in order to use a zone of truth. So they went through an interview process with every single person in the room, which took a long time. But eventually, much to Delphin's dismay, actually, no one there was the culprit. So, being let out, Delfen was unfortunately at a loss, but he had been offered help by our adventurers beforehand, and so he told you guys to meet him the following day at noon, which you did. Arthur and Pharoo returned after a brief discussion, and you guys ran a couple of errands the next morning before going to Delfen Ondabarl's tower. You ascended its steps and went up to one of the 3 sub-towers before reaching the one that had been blown through, this highly reinforced, both physically and magically, tower that had been meant to house something. Now, you guys had a conversation with him, but this was a very sensitive topic. until you eventually found that what had been stolen, the item in question that he had gone to all of this effort in order to keep safe, was a massive 100-pound shard of pure Shardolin, which unfortunately doesn't really mean anything to any of you. So I'll be filling it for Pharoo this session, and I think he might know a thing or two about that. Anyway, here we find ourselves. What do you wish to do?
Okay. Well, I will start out by looking pretty nonplussed, because I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
Um,
So, what exactly is this shot of what's it?
Pharoo, his eyes have grown wide at this point as he's struck by the words, and he says, oh dear, that is really not good. That is not good at all. I know what it is, and no one should have that. No one.
He's gonna shoot a glance to the bird.
Are you going to elaborate? Or are we just guessing? Yeah.
Well, now that you've asked me, I suppose I can.
Ugh.
The floor is yours, I
Please
suppose.
carry on. Please tell us what Shardolin is.
now that you've asked.
My gosh.
Well, I appreciate the enthusiasm. Well, this Shardolin is, it's a form of dark matter. It is imbued with evil energies, and, I had run into a few instances of it up in the north, in Icewind Dale, while I was with the others. It is highly potent, and, truly, I don't think it could be used for any good purpose other than for corruption and as a powerful evil catalyst.
Right, but what does it do?
Yeah, that doesn't really.
Well, I don't believe I ever saw its primary function, although there are several. But I've been told secondhand that it is capable of altering one's mind. Anyone who comes into contact with it, it sways their beliefs. It alters their behaviors. They become, well, if you're a good person, you aren't any longer. I'll just put it that way. Besides that, it's like this strange mix between a mineral and a crystal, but it can be used to make other things. I've heard that there was some sort of massive dragon that was made of Shardolin that the ones I was with actually managed to vanquish. But there are many uses, all of which are terrible and awful.
So, Mr. Wizard, care to explain why a horrible, terrible crystal was locked up here? Or better yet, where did it come from?
Delfen goes, I'm sorry, am I being questioned now? Is this an interrogation? Because that's not
No,
what
no,
I
you-
invited you all for.
No, it's an interrogation. Curious, curious. You can answer if you'd like. You don't. I don't care.
Right. Well, I primarily was actually keeping it here for study, if you must know. That is one of the only bits of Shardland that has ever made its way this far south. In fact, I believe I'm one of the only ones that has access to a piece of Shardland whatsoever around here. Now, I've been around the block a bit, alright? I've traveled to many different places, and one of those places happened to have this. Shardalin is a very mysterious substance. It does not come naturally, that I know. It's created. At least I think so. There's a lot I still don't know, but I was hoping to analyze it and hopefully get to the bottom of it in hopes of... Well, you know how they take venom for remedies, or they use poisonous plants in others? Kind of like that, right? You can't really know how to combat it if you don't know how it works.
So you're looking for a cure to whatever it can do?
Now, this Owlin fellow... I'm sorry, what was your name? My name is Pharoo. Pharoo. Yes. His brief explanation of it was correct, but if I may elaborate, what it does is it disaligns an individual from, and I know this might sound a bit cliche, but from a good-leaning perspective, right? Now, as I'm sure we all know here, there are many celestial realms that represent the different belief systems, the different alignments, and all of that, right? There is the good of law. There is the chaos. There are so many things in between. What Shardalin does is, if given enough time and against a weak enough will, it will alter that. It will corrupt one's mind.
And
So,
you've been safe from corruption. How exactly?
He waves a hand and gestures to the room around him. See that see that floating daze over there? That's where it was kept. Not in contact with anything, because I don't know if it might seep into the very fabric of my tower and somehow get to me. I don't know. So I take extra precaution. I made sure to encase this entire room in lead, actually, to make sure that no one would either be able to get in or know of it in the first place.
Of course, that's a clever solution.
so this stuff changes your alignment if you touch it. Is that what I'm hearing?
In commoner terms, he has.
I think he called you stupid.
I think he did. I'm going to choose on that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Why would whoever steal this still be in the city? That doesn't make sense.
Allow me to go through a breakdown of the events that led up to this and why I was led to believe that they would still be in the city. You see he kind of like closes his eyes and purses his lips a second as he seems to think. Right. So, as of last evening, well, I was getting ready for bed last night. The curfew for the apprentices had been initiated. We all went to our rooms, and, just like any other day. Issue being, I, again, took very special precaution on this room to make sure that there was as little chance of somebody getting in, tampering with, or stealing my Shadowland shard as possible, using various abjuration runes. I made it so that I had a vault door that would not only have to be blasted through, but would have to be unlocked through arcane means. The very weave around it has to be done. Rather, undone, sorry. And generally, I'm the only one who's able to do that. I placed an alarm spell upon the door. If anyone were to undo the seal that was not me, an alarm would go off, notifying myself immediately. So, when the alarm starts blaring throughout my tower, I immediately rush down here. By the time I got here, the culprit in question had already blown through. Perhaps blown isn't the right word, if you'll observe. He points over to the door. And you can see, well, it's obviously not really a door anymore. It is probably like a quarter of a door, but I'm going to have anyone who's attempting to observe this make a perception check.
Oh boy, can I?
Ooh, the rolling
Let me
numbers.
do it, dude.
Please, 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 please.
I love perception. I perceptivize.
When the party rolls below
Yeah.
blanketly
That's
and the
nice.
game is ruined.
Where's yours, Edelburn?
I'm submitting.
Oh, there it is.
14. Holy crap, +9?
Don't ask about it. I did
I'm
a
gonna
lot
ask
of work
about
to
it.
make a perception.
Why do you have a +9 to your perception? How did that happen?
Some people
Uh,
really like looking at things.
Listen, if I can't,
+5.
Pippa
Oh
doesn't
my
see
God.
shit, okay? Doesn't see shit, okay?
No. She sees
I
perfectly
am
fine. It's within 30 feet.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Do you know how many times in an encounter literally one person walks one square away and I'm like, well, I can't see them.
I
They are no longer
know.
affected by anything.
It's great. It's great.
It's not happening anymore, okay?
Not
Anyways.
anymore.
Okay.
Alright, what do we got on the...
You know, funny enough, Aylin's the only one that really notices. The rest of you are like, oh
No.
yeah, well, definitely looks like the door was
Sure looks exploded.
messed up
It
or whatever.
sure does look blown
But
up. Yeah.
Aylin, as you look at this, you can see that the edges of the so-called damage to the door, they do not line up with an explosion. There is not like you cannot detect any sort of epicenter to it, but if you were to look at this from the perspective of having been blown into, you would know that there would be shards of bent metal, metal that had perhaps been melted, stuff like that. Instead, there just seems to be this straight, smooth line that kind of makes up this big hole, almost like the door was like, this metal door was carved apart with a saw, or something even
they
more
cut
delicate.
it open with a lightsaber. That's crazy. You got Jedi now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
By the way, is the bot not working?
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take
gonna
that as a
go.
no.
It was working a second ago.
What timing?
I think the song
Incredible.
just ended and it decided no.
Gotta
more.
hit the loop button, brother. You gotta.
I
just
did,
gotta.
but I did. I took a brief hiatus. Okay, well,
That's what you get.
Oh man.
So it looks like the door was welded through, basically, DM? Is what
I
you're
mean,
getting at?
yeah, there's not really a term for that in, in Middle Ages terms, but yeah, from the perspective of a modern individual, yes. And again,
Well,
it's better than like welded through. Okay, like there's no melted metal. There's almost no sign that it had been cut through, other than the fact that it's like a quarter of a door.
Like just like a straight line. Is what
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, weird.
huh.
But
And it'll
Delphin,
probably. Oh, sorry.
nope. You go ahead. You're literally the player. What are you gonna say?
Aelin kind of cocks her head and goes, "That's an interesting way to go about it. Any ideas how?"
Delphin goes, yes, I have some ideas, but first, allow me to continue. So, the culprit ran in. Again, they were darkly dressed, just wearing like this very dark maroon cloak, hood and mask. By the time I got in, and I believe I told you this initially, right? Which was last week. I think so, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, he goes, by the time I got inside, the culprit had already taken the shard. Now, I did not see it anywhere on his person, and trust me, it's large enough. So, it must have been through magic that the individual must have somehow stashed it away, probably using some sort of extraplanar magic.
You
But
don't
in any
reckon I
case,
had one of those bags of holding, do you?
kind of like
Pretty sure
raises an
Ornery knows what
eyebrow.
that is, right? I think one of the group
We
members
have
had or
we
has
have
one.
yeah, Kronka's one and I have a little
Yeah.
one. But Kronka's the big
Right.
He like raises an eyebrow and it's like, that would be clever, wouldn't it? Well, in any case,
He offers a shrug.
I entered, and I sought to confront the individual. For whatever reason, I elected to ask them who they were. Obviously, I got no response, and so I immediately, I opened fire. I attempted to use a lightning bolt on the individual, only to be instantly counterspelled. Even in that instant, the other individual was weaving a spell that was extremely high grade. And this is where I get the most confused about this whole thing, is because other than myself, there are magical protections, or there were, as he kind of like looks at like the there's like a piece of like torn metal that's like barely hanging by its tip up in the hole that just kind of like clank, 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 and like falls off the edge. Yes. There were powerful abjuration spells to keep anyone from casting anything other than me within here. But somehow they managed to weave a spell and used something that could rip lead apart like paper. They blew their way out, and as I attempted to give chase, I was just about to try another spell on them, but they were a bit quick on the draw, it would seem. They leapt out of the hole and instantly disappeared.
You wouldn't happen to know who all knew you had this here, would you?
He goes, well, none but a handful, just a very select few. But he,
Sounds like a suspect list.
you say that, but if I tell you the suspect list, as he makes like quote fingers, you'll be left with basically nothing. It's nothing to go by.
You've already cleared their names, then.
Well, I hardly think that that Duchess Morwen would want my shard of Shardolin for any reason.
Not unless she had an accomplice who knows what it is.
She is good people. No one who knows her would think that Lady Morwen would want a shard of Shardolin for anything.
You
Especially
never know
not
what
one that
power would
size.
do to maintain that.
Pharoo did mention that she went nuts, right?
She
that
went
was
evil.
that was
Yeah,
brought
he
up.
mentioned that she kind of, in the vision he saw, went
Saw
a
her
little
get
nuts.
a little wacky.
Yeah.
Okay,
she
I'm
got
gonna
a little-
glance
got a little
at
silly.
Pharoo, not say anything, and then, well, what if somehow this stuff got to her? You said it beats alignments or something. If it got to her, she would have every reason to break it out or whatever.
Yes, but She's never been in contact with it. She leaves me my tower. This place is sovereign.
Okay, well, who else knows?
Before we get to that, let me answer your first question, which led me to reiterate the events that led up to all of this. The reason that I think that the thief is, or at least was, still in the city is because I have magic that can track things such as teleport. Which inclines me to believe it would have been something like a plane shift or something like that. Issue being, plane shift is a rather powerful spell, but unless the one I am dealing with is far more powerful than I could have imagined, I believe they already would have used that spell slot in order to blow this place open. Now, again, I can track that sort of thing. If someone were to use a teleportation at this site, which is a high-level spell, mind you, even something such as a misty step or a dimension door, I would be able to track it, so long as it was cast from the location that I, of course, watched him disappear at.
So you've been able to track him then? Or you're saying that he's used something knowing you'd be able to track otherwise? That way he would remain nearby?
Indeed. I immediately called for the lockdown of the town. If a guard even watched someone leave in that instant, they would have chased them down, but I've heard no reports of such a thing happen. I suppose, given enough time, if they hid within the city, they would be able to use a teleportation afterward. Which is why I was hoping to get on top of this quickly. But the moment is lost. So here I am.
Well, this whole thing smells rotten.
So what is it you intend for us to do? It sounds like you have no suspects, no leads, and a powerful spellcaster that tore through this place like he owned it.
The DM loads.
Yeah, he's really thinking.
That was a question for the whole group. That was
You
a
bet.
general hand wave.
Hang on,
Oh, I thought that
I
was
didn't even
Sword,
catch
though.
that. Would you give me a moment?
No, you're
I'm being harassed.
Man,
As always.
Dang it.
Absolute
I
I
Hooray.
totally
parade.
thought that was
Hooray.
directed toward the mage and the
yeah, I
others.
was kind of okay. Well, given that the DM is stun locked, it says, I mean, if you could only track a teleport while he's in here, and he escaped this building, which I mean, he obviously has. It's pretty good odds he still was able to.
It seems to me the only lead we've got so far is the Duchess.
Well, who else?
Bit of a loose connection, but given it's the only
Who
one
else
we
knows
got,
them? 'Cause I mean, or whoever else knows about it. 'Cause, I mean, I probably don't know how scrying works. Hang on.
yeah, I don't know if we've used Scry before.
Not in a while. Yeah, no shot. It would have to be somebody who knows this is here at some level.
Well, I could always go rule out the Duchess. See if her alignment or goodwill has been eaten alive or something. I've got a knack for picking out if people are good or bad.
You can do that.
He gives a shrug. Powers of Bahamut are a weird thing, friend. Still learning myself.
Concern.
I could try it on our friend here if it puts your mind at ease. It's gonna thumb over to Aelin.
There's her eyes. Can if you like. I don't really care, but I'm a little offended.
Look, we're in the middle of something.
Yes, we're talking in circles about how
I
we have
summon
nothing
him.
to go on.
I bring him here by the ancient right. He's stupid.
What?
It's the summon
If we call
ritual.
Dale
Oh,
stupid enough, he'll appear. Or Cairo emo enough.
It's not working.
That's just
What
that.
else? What else do we have?
what else do
I-
we have? Someone has to go to the kitchen to get
I
a snack.
have
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
he'll
something,
show
but I
up
don't know if I
immediately.
really want this fire right now.
yeah.
Oh no.
Hey,
What is it?
alright,
What
well,
is it?
I'm gonna go make some chocolate milk. Off
Oh,
I
no.
go.
I'm gonna get
I'm
a
gonna go watch The
drink.
Hobbit over Lord
Alright.
of the Rings again.
It's
Oh, no.
happening. Goodbye. Alright, well, he's taking too long early. I'm gonna go. He's getting really harassed, holy.
Okay, I got a drink. Is he back? Did he show up?
No.
Oh, we're still out. This is tragic.
It is tragic.
Yep.
Tragedy.
Man.
Tragedy of Dark Plagueis.
Man.
Oh, hello, Bella. You moved the whole pillow out of the way so you could sit on that spot, huh?
Is Bella
Good
being
for you.
nice?
All right.
Not currently. Oh, he's back.
Yes.
Look at a picture of her.
The
She's looking pretty fluffy today. Anyway.
the children ran out into the rain
Incredible.
because Where
They
were
wanted
we?
to.
Well,
Did somebody ask a
while
question?
you were
Yeah,
while
what
you
did
were gone,
we...
we had a small
We had a
discussion.
brief... Yeah, thing. But we're doing something. So, if this... Whoever this is, seems like by now has had every chance to make whatever escape they want. Right?
He kind of like folds his hands together. He goes, perhaps. But escape to where? That's...
You're making it sound like this thing is dangerous. I imagine people would pay for that kind of thing. I don't know.
I have you recall that I had an arcane lockdown initiated last night. Immediately. We had detectors. We had people specifically go out and seek out anyone who might be in possession of such a thing.
Sounds like it's a little bit dangerous, my friend.
Okay, but what I'm getting at, right?
We're going to need
You
a
can't-
mindset change for this.
I hit
Excellent,
it.
excellent, excellent. Thank you, Jacob. You got my stupidity.
Is this a
You
meme?
played right into it. It's
I
epic.
don't-
The music.
No, of course it is. You sure it is?
Yeah.
Um,
It's Hermes. Anyway.
if there's... You did the lockdown, right? They got out of this room, and it's been a day, which means there's nothing stopping them from teleporting from anywhere else within the city. You don't know what they want this stuff for, which means it could be going to anyone. So,
You
as far
see he's
as I
kind of
can
like
see,
gnawing on his lower lip
yeah.
as he's thinking.
If I'm hearing all this right, the only real lead we would have would be the people who know it's here. Because you would have to know it's here to come take it. Right?
Yes, of course. The problem is... if there are people that know it is here that I do not know of, which I've definitely taken very tight measures to prevent. But again, there's some things that are not lining up here that are making me doubt.
If you've only got such a small list, it's best we take care of at least tying up loose ends with that. Dispel any worries we have of them.
Very well, so be it. The only people that are aware that it is here are myself, my apprentices, and the Duchess. That's it.
Who are the apprentices?
The apprentices are the apprentices. Well,
Oh,
what do you
Scouts.
mean, who are they? They have names. You just want to know their names?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I know him.
Arthur kind of pulls out his journal, ready to jot down names.
Okay. Ba-ba-ba.
And
What was
then fantasy name generator got opened.
it? Never.
Never.
Oh, boy.
He'd never do something so shameful.
Never.
Have you interrogated these apprentices yet?
Seems like the most reasonable place to start.
I did interrogate them, as a matter of fact. Before they even entered this tower. I've done it with every single one. But if that wasn't satisfactory enough, yes. They were part of the list of people that I interviewed last night. Would you like to come down and meet them?
Sure, why not? Much
Very
better than
well.
having to go track them down ourselves.
Kind of narrows his eyes a little bit. Right. I'm sure you would. Come along. He stands to his feet and goes, and once we've done that, maybe I can get on with a couple more of my concerns.
Well, you would tell us, or
Yes, I'm going to tell you, but one step at a time, right? I just stood up. Do you want me to sit back down again?
Gosh, Hildebrand, where's your pacing?
I pointedly ignore her.
He starts walking out of the
Arthur can't help but chuckle a bit.
out of the room. And yeah, just like as he exits this space, you know, he's got like the cushion in front of the hole here, as well as just like a board blocking it up temporarily. But you know, past some of their edges, you can just see like the charred bits of like molten and cracked and torn away what you now know to be lead. As well as like
Isn't that,
broken
like,
runes
super
and
poisonous?
huh?
If you eat it, yeah.
Or if you lick it.
Well, like, lead paint, pretty bad. Even just
Going
being near
But if you eat it,
They eat it, yeah. The reason it's poisonous is like paint and stuff is if you inhale it or whatever.
Well,
If
that's
it's
what
just
I
sitting
mean,
there,
it's
you're
like
fine.
inhaling.
But
Alright,
Yeah.
alright.
I don't know. He cast cure carcinogens. Anyway,
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I use purify food and drink.
purify.
And then just take a bite.
Purify lead.
Purify lead.
Okay, we follow the guy.
It looked crunchy.
Yeah. So nothing else was taken. 'Cause-
He goes, nothing that concerns me right now. I haven't found anything.
Okay. Then, I would have to know this is here. It's that specific.
Indeed. So, ba ba ba.
Me too, yeah. Me too.
Okay.
I agree.
Right. So yeah, he leads you down the steps that lead out of this, kind of branch that makes its way into this tower from the main tower. And he goes, "All right. Well, the apprentice quarters are in the west tower, so follow me." He leads you across this this chamber here at the top of the primary tower, and up another set of steps that kind of go diagonally up toward the next tower, and you can see that just little trickles of light make their way through arrow slits here in this tower. It really does appear that this place was originally made as a defensive structure for, the outer wall. You make your way up, and you can see there is this this quaint little set of quarters in here. It looks kind of like how you would imagine like in a Middle Ages kind of like dormitory, right? So you can see that there are 5 beds, each with a footlocker as well as a desk. You can see that there are like various chalkboards up on the walls and stuff with like different spell diagrams and that are just kind of riddled with notes. You can see that there are a few shelves that are stacked high with spell books. Not like wizard spell books, like educational material. And yeah, as you enter, he goes, right, get up, lads. We have some visitors. So, there are 4 people in here. And as each stand up, he goes, all right, come along, line up. So, this one is Eris Thalarin. And you can see this is like a little half-elf. This is actually a female half-elf, and she has like this light brown hair that kind of falls over her shoulders. And then he goes, this one is Bramwyn. You can call him Bram. Carowin. And this is what appears to be a human. He wears like a couple of like a pair of spectacles, and he gives like a slight nod toward you all. He's got like a like a pointy chin and dark brown hair. Serial Dawn Whisper, and this is a gosh, for identifying a race, he looks
History?
elvish. Well, you can easily enough tell he looks elvish, but not exactly what type of elf necessarily.
Gotcha.
Unless you were, I guess, to make a. I feel like that would be nature too, right?
Make a racism check.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Racism, the study of races.
Arthur's just dumb.
All right.
The study of race or racism. That's
Okay,
I
yeah.
credit DM, so
Okay. All
I'm
right.
a professional.
I sure do guess so.
Oh my god.
Edelbrand, you recognize this individual as a wood elf.
Okay. Does that mean anything to me? Probably not, but just like
That depends. Is there something in particular from your
I don't
backstory
know,
that
I mean-
would incline you that way, or?
probably not. But I'm just like, what is a wood elf? What's their Wikipedia page?
They're an elf
Hey.
in the woods.
Okay, right. Yeah. So wood elves.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
You're welcome, I got you.
Yeah. So wood elves, they are. You're never gonna believe this. They're mostly found
They
in
elves?
forests. Yeah.
What?
But
I got it. I got it right.
yep.
How could you-
But yeah, they
could you
are
know?
typically like, in terms of elvish heritages, they tend to be on the more. Elves are typically like some form of chaotic, right?
Right.
But these are more easily identifiable as chaotic.
Okay.
In that way. So, they're generally pretty calm. They tend to be fairly level-headed. They tend to stick. They tend to stick to their civilizations often, but it seems there's some exceptions. You know, if what you're asking here is if there's anything that would give a rise for concern upon seeing a wood elf in this context, at the moment I don't really have any to provide based on its heritage.
Sure. I mostly just wanted to see what the difference between wood elf and just elf was. But
Well, technically there
Yep.
is no just elf. I mean, I
Oh,
guess
there-
like high elves are kind of like just elf, maybe, but
okay. There's
know.
no default elf. They're all
there's
different.
no default
Okay.
elf.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
they all have their
Okay.
own factions and stuff.
So it's number 8. It is more outdoorsy, more chaotic, and they're kind of insular. Okay.
Right.
Noted.
But they're chaotic in a different way to, you know, to how most would figure chaotic is.
All right.
It's a conversation, but anyway.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, she has this long blonde hair that that's kind of tied up, but there's like a couple of like strands where one's where her ears are that kind of like drape down. And this is Thane Rulevar. And you can see this one is actually a halfling. You can see that he's got like his sandy hair combed back and everything, and you know, he definitely seems to try to conduct himself in a nobilistic way, I guess. He's kind of like holding a book to his chest as he looks up at you guys and just kind of gives you this regal glance. So yes, here are my apprentices.
I look at Aylin because this was her idea.
Give me a second, trying not to open my
no.
spit.
Struggle.
You're right, yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh, Bella. Dude, will you?
Is Bella
What?
still being a menace?
What? What now?
I don't know if
For once, I
still
can't hear
being
them.
is
Oh,
a
never
way
mind.
to
I was about to
categorize
say-
it. It's a lifestyle, so
Yeah.
Lifestyle.
She's not a menace now. She's a menace.
That is a
period.
lie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, Arthur, would you mind casting that detect alignment for me really quick?
Right, not sure if that's exactly how it works, but we'll give it a shot. He's gonna look over to Mr. Wizard Man and sort of ask him real quick. Am I able to cast spells in here, or are your protections going to prevent me?
In this room, yes, but I do encourage you to try something I already haven't.
Well, not exactly sure what you've tried yet, but who knows? He's going to mutter under his breath and, with a wave of his hand, cast Detect Good and Evil.
Detect good
First
and
time
evil
he's done
for the
so, so
duration.
he's
Yeah.
uncertain how it truly works, but
Dang, bro, it's
No.
concentration.
I don't know why it says concentration
It's crazy.
twice, actually.
Double concentrate.
I gotta, like, extra concentrate on
Yeah,
this
dude.
one, guys.
It's like
Only
orange
concentrate.
juice.
No juice involved.
It's
None-
just
none
orange.
at all, man. Anyway,
That was very funny.
shut up.
Okay, so looking at the lot of them.
I fixed it.
Good work.
I had it typed out in the duration itself, but clicking the concentration button also adds concentration to the text. I did not know
Oh,
this, so I doubled
okay.
Anyway,
Interesting. So it's
apparently
not actually
detect good and evil
detecting
doesn't
alignment.
actually give the alignment.
Yeah,
It detects the
it
type
det-
of creature,
Okay.
which
well,
is really misleading.
Um,
Yeah,
That's
look
not
at
how
it.
it
For
works
the
here.
duration, you know if there's an
Because in
aberration supposed to
5e,
elemental
all
fey,
those
fiend,
things
or
are
undead within 30 feet of you. All those things are
aligned.
considered
Yeah,
okay.
they're creatures with
yeah,
predetermined
certain
roles.
alignments.
What? I'm gonna crash out. This is my
Dude, me
crash
too.
out moment.
This is really
Why?
dumb.
Why?
I
Why
really
would
thought,
you have a spell that's named good and detect good and evil and not detect the actual thing? You know what? It's fine. It's cool. I'm gonna
That's what the
nope. I'm done.
creatures are. It's,
No,
This
no,
is-
what
no,
they
no.
are,
It's
dude.
not detect creature alignment. It's detect good and evil. There should be a differentiation. You know what? I will give it to Pathfinder. They have detect alignment.
Goodness, just read the
there
spell.
you
You're
go.
fine.
There you go.
I- I'll
If it
help
makes
you.
you feel any
Okay,
better,
anyway.
it's
Into where you
extremely
sit.
fitting for Arthur to attempt because he would also be equally confused why the
It's not
spell
working.
detect good and evil doesn't
We
detect
try again.
the alignment of good versus evil. It's like, what is happening? Why isn't it working? If it says detect good and evil, why wouldn't it detect good and evil? I don't need to know what kind of person you are. I just need to know if you're good or evil.
Ugh.
Tommy, what the hell? You gotta rebrand this. Doesn't make any sense. Oh my gosh.
So.
Anyways, do I detect any of those things?
Yes, you do. You get
Oh, there you
a
go.
faint sense of Fey coming from Eris Thalarin, and
Isn't that the elf?
you're getting a you're getting an even stronger sense of Fey coming from Serial Dawn Whisper.
So
who
that's the
is-
half elf and full elf.
The
right?
Serial is the wood elf.
Respectively.
Eris is the half
Yeah.
elf.
Yeah. Okay.
Pre-
Arthur's gonna look between the two, look over to Aelin. I guess those two, but yeah, I'm not really sure this is going to prove anything.
Give me a second. I suddenly have a headache. So your cleric friend, they what? Did the whole zone of truth thing. Anything else?
Wait, I don't know that information. Do I?
I don't think that actually got brought.
You know that spellcasters were taken away, but I don't think
Yes.
Arthur talked about the zone
for
of truth
questioning.
interrogations
Yeah,
thing.
but yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna look
Okay,
to...
then let me.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
I'll rephrase.
So what exactly did you do to determine that everyone on your list and everyone you brought in was deemed safe?
I mean, I could answer that one for you. We're all brought into the same area and interrogated through the zone of truth. Well, interrogation's a bit of a strong word, but, you know, asked a gauntlet of questions, really.
What kind
Uh,
of questions? Oh, what's up, Kronk?
Has Kronk? I feel like Kronk's been through a zone of. All right.
I think
Has
we
he?
have. Like,
Would
I'm
he
pretty
know
sure
that you
Windows
can-
passed it on the squad.
Would he know that there's a way to break it or like lie through it? Like, cause like if you get a high enough concentration or not, what's it?
Save or whatever.
Yeah. Like, would Kronk know that or not?
It's a good question, actually.
Only somebody could tell us.
If only there were someone who could possibly give us those answers. If only.
Damn!
I dream of the day.
My wife was telling me about dinner. So what's up?
Food motivated.
So what's up?
Kronk, go ahead.
Oh, would Kronk know if there's a way to defeat the Zone of Truth spell?
We were debating whether or not we've actually been through one before or not.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Would
Arthur has
Kronk
now,
know? Would
recently.
Kronk know? I don't know if Kronk. We're going to have you make an Arcana check at disadvantage, Kronk.
Alright.
Just because
Double net 20s.
I'm not sure if Kronk necessarily.
Let's see.
would.
Do it. Aww.
5.
Okay, yeah. So at base it's a 5. So, yeah. You're unsure. You don't know necessarily. It's a thought in your head, but you don't know.
Alright, Kronk will say nothing.
Very cool.
Actually, while we're on that note, would Arthur know how to beat a Zone of Truth, considering he can literally cast the spell?
Double Zone of
Let's see if you
Truth.
can cast a spell. You can.
You put
It's
two
part of the
Alright,
zones
yeah,
cleric
into
spell
you
list.
can make an Arcana
the
check.
double negative, then it becomes
Okay.
a zone of lie.
Zone of Lie.
Yep.
Yeah, baby. One of us speaks in truth, the other in lies.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Where is Arcana? Wow, I'm bad at that. 10.
Okay. So.
He's new here. It's okay.
For Zone of Truth, it's a fairly it's a fairly simple spell in the way that it functionally works. It's like what you can actually do after the spell is cast that gets kind of complicated, right? So for someone to
Right.
defeat a Zone of Truth, I mean, I don't know, being able to know whether a creature succeeds or fails on the saving throw is one of the main, best attributes of the Zone of Truth spell. So maybe if somebody could get around that, but you're unsure.
Gotcha. That's fair enough. Arthur will shrug. He hasn't used the spell before.
Okay. Well, since
Have
everyone
they?
has heard this and not said anything,
No.
what kind of questions were asked?
He shoots a look to Mr. Magic Man, who asked him those questions. Literally yesterday.
You can
Okay.
go around the
He goes,
I think.
I kept it fairly simple. I asked them where they were yesterday, and if it wasn't elaborate enough, I delved a little bit deeper as he kind of shoots a glance toward Arthur.
Arthur is just smiling casually, just
I asked them what they were
Bumbling it
doing,
out.
and finished it off with, "Did you do it? Yes or no?" Pretty simple stuff. Doesn't need to be complicated.
Well, all of you know about whatever the charlatan thing is, or knew about it. And DM, these are all adults, right?
that's
They're
the
kids.
apprentices, right?
Not a Hogwarts. Yeah. No, I'm asking them.
One of them kind of looks like they're in their teens.
Okay.
Okay, I thought you were gonna ask who.
Well, I assumed you were gonna tell me anyway.
Oh, the wood elf.
Gosh, DM. Okay, great. But the rest are all fairly my age-ish or
Yes.
something. Cool. Okay. So I asked them, and if you tell anybody else about this, you all knew it was here. Did you tell anyone else? Has anyone asked you about it?
So, the human and the halfling, they both shake their heads no. You see the half elf kind of like blinks for a second, thinks, and then shakes their head no. And the wood elf, you see, kind of like thinks for a moment, and then like opens their mouth, and then closes it. There's like thinks for another second, and says no.
I just kind of look at her for a second.
The wood elf is a male.
Oh, look at dang it, I'm sorry. They all got the wood elf. I thought that was alright.
That was the half elf.
No, you said that the wood elf was a female.
Yeah, I thought you did. I read it down.
The half
Yeah.
elf Aris.
Long blonde
is-
hair tied up.
Okay, the half elf Eris is a guy, and he's the one
on.
that just kind of like, never mind. Did
Yeah, I could have sworn that Eris was. Eris has brown hair. The one with blonde hair is.
okay? I have
think-
4 names, really quick. Eris, half elf. Guy or gal?
Oh, Eris is a female.
Eris is a half elf female.
Yes.
Okay, great. And the wood elf, Serial Dawn Whisper.
Yes, he has
Guy or gal?
long blonde
Guy,
hair
got
that
it.
is tied up, but that has 2 strands kind of falling down next to his ears.
Okay. And
I
then the
think
human.
Something must have gotten mixed up in translation.
Alright, so Eris is the only gal.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now that that's cleared up.
Are you about to discriminate based on?
Yes. No. Which one
Maybe.
was the one that maybe I'm not sure yet. Which one was the one that like kind of looked wishy-washy?
Cereal, I think.
Serial. Okay. All right. So I kind of stare at Serial for a second. Funny name. Sorry. Can't help myself.
What kind of cereal?
Oops.
Is it Honey Nut Cheerios?
All right.
Cookie crisp.
Cookie Crisp.
Something you were gonna say.
He goes, no, there's no one outside of us apprentices and the High Mage that any of us have talked about it with, and only briefly. Right, guys? And the others nod along.
Arthur's hand is gonna twitch a bit. Just, do I really have to use honest truth on your apprentices? Something's not right here.
You already know what time it is.
Well, I already bid, but please be my guests.
I
What
was
I get
about
on
to
that?
say, Arthur's gonna insight check the.
I'm already there.
the
Yeah.
apprentices.
Is there something going on, or I just
They
reading too
they
much
seem
into this?
very
Kind of
kind of
cagey.
skittish, kind of cagey. Yeah.
Am I just reading into this? Are they spooked because of these weirdos covered in swords? What's going
Okay.
on?
I think it's
Before I
Kronk.
answer that, let me
You
Yeah.
think it's Kronk?
Yeah, Kronk just was looking
take a
at them a
3-minute
little too long.
break. Take a 3-minute break. I gotta.
All right. He's got to
Arthur hasn't
recalibrate.
blinked in a while.
Good.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick before DM gets back.
Kronk mumbled something about bones, and now they don't want to talk.
Bro, he has hags hanging off his belt. What do you mean?
I know, dude. I'm just saying.
He has a shield that has a +2 intimidation.
It's very funny.
His simple
Dude,
presence.
can you imagine just being like, look, dude, we just want to talk, and 5 feet away is the 6 foot tall, covered in heads. Like,
I just want to talk.
oh,
Talk about your funeral, because you're going to buy one.
oh my gosh. You want to know what happened to the last person? Pulls out a freaking femur. In all the confusion, I forgot to make chalky milk,
Oh.
and I have been afforded a second chance.
Second. Hello? Hey, the Seaf system works.
Apologies. For some reason, nobody in my house knows how to use the TV remote after 3 years. Anyway,
Really?
yeah. So, I believe somebody made an insight check.
I think it was Schmitty who went to go make
Does it work?
chalky.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I did go to make chalky. I don't know how long I've been
Two of you
talking
made
to the
an
void.
insight check.
Yeah, me and Arthur. I made it first, but then Arthur like doubled my freaking roll. So.
Okay.
Um,
So what are you trying
Not
to
double.
determine through your
Okay,
insight
yeah.
check?
Is based on just their answers, they seem a little like skittish. Am I reading too much into it? Are they spooked because of weirdos covered in swords, or coming in and asking them questions, or
Okay.
is something actually going on here?
So, all right, yeah. Let's see here. Edelbrand, it definitely kind of looks like something is off about them. You know, they just seem to be kind of like almost confused. But then Arthur, per your insight check, you know.
Arthur? I don't know if Arthur's back yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Also, my Wi-Fi keeps coming in and out, so I apologize if I have to.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's finally not the laptop crashing. It's the Wi-Fi itself.
yay.
Yippee.
At least the Wi-Fi can be
We're
reset.
upgrading. Yeah, we're upgrading to new and different ways to
I return.
blow up our.
Okay,
internet.
welcome
back, Arthur.
Thank you. What did we get from the insight?
Right, so I'll reiterate. So Edelbrand, on his insight, determined, yeah, something definitely looks very off with them. You know, like they seem almost confused to you, Adelbrand. You, Arthur, because you got above a 20, which makes
Oh yeah.
which means that you are within the hard DC metric. You can see like it's almost like they aren't very sure of their answer. Almost like they're like they were even the ones that gave it an immediate affirmation, they seem to kind of look a little bit confused now, but they don't seem entirely sure of themselves. Like they're trying to determine if something is missing themselves.
Okay, that's different. You don't seem certain of your own answers. What's missing here?
The halfling pipes up and he goes, "Well, I don't know. We guys, we haven't told anyone, right? No one but us apprentices." And the others like nod their heads. One's like, I don't. Yes, but I feel like there's something I'm missing. Delfen goes, like, what? Like, this isn't... can't you provide any explanation other than something so vague? Well, no, because even if I feel like something's missing, I can't know what it is I'm missing unless I know what it is.
I have a question for you, Vlad. Have you ever met anyone with a maroon cloak before? Just a passer through, a glance, anything like that?
They all turn to look at you, and you can see they immediately get like a "what the frick" on their face.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they look at you strangely as they kind of all seem to say no.
Right, well, red cloaks aside, you mean to tell me that there's just a collective gap in everyone's memory here? Except for Delfen? The original Wood Elf speaks up and he goes, "Well, no, I just... Look, it's probably nothing, alright? How the heck would you even be able to tell there's a gap in your memory if you aren't remembering it? That doesn't make any sense." The fact that you're all collectively uncertain in your own answer, despite it being possibly truthful, is all I need to know.
Well, that doesn't just straight up point to a gap in memory, does it?
Okay. There's a pretty easy way to actually tell if something happened, right? Isn't that something that can be fixed with like a Restoration.
If it's a curse, I can remove it. If it's something deeper, I can reverse it. If you're still uncertain about the truth of the matter, I can still use that, but if Delfen has already done so,
Which I
there's really
have.
no point in continuing that line of thinking.
Can also make you remember what percussive means, and you crack his knuckles.
Arthur's gonna, like, put his hand on Kronk's arm and kind of, like, hold it down a little, just...
I
oh,
did
no,
not invite
yet,
you.
Not yet.
I did not invite you in here to beat up all 5 of my apprentices, alright?
But you want answer, don't
Hold
you?
on.
Hey,
No,
hang on. What?
5?
there's only 4.
Delfen. Like,
Somebody missing?
you see he kind of like blinks and he's like, no, I said 4, didn't I?
You said 5.
Oh boy.
The apprentices kind of like shake their heads.
Could somebody make you forget them? Is that a spell?
Arthur is going
Uh-huh.
to, without question, use a remove curse on Delfen.
Okay, so you use
That's a good idea.
okay, all right, awesome. So
There's something fun. to
you
go with.
reach out, you perform the verbal and somatic components, and touch him, and you see is like the green energy kind of and seems to wash into him and settle under his skin before dissipating. But as he kind of like pulls his hand away, is like, I did not give you permission to do that. And like you see like his gaze kind of goes into the corner of his eyes. And no, nothing seems to be any different.
I don't care about your damned permission. How many apprentices do you have?
Let me get something straight. I invited you in here. Have some manners.
He's going to pull out his blade and put it to his throat. Answer the fucking
Whoa,
question.
whoa,
Use your
whoa,
goddamn
whoa,
mouth.
whoa, whoa.
It's my turn to interrogation.
Oh my god, Kronk. Kronk is over here just thumbs
Delfen.
up. I approve.
He's just kind of
Oh my-
looking back and forth like, what the heck is going on?
At this point, Delfen, he kind of glowers at you past the blade, and he goes, "Say, fellow, who's just here to help, put your blade down, or I'm going to have all of Daggerford after you.
Wouldn't be the
Plus
first time I get
myself."
chased off by the whole town.
Well, don't let it be the next.
Could I just go
Just
next
answer
to
honestly.
Arthur and just kind of put a hand on his arm and like kind of
He'll twitch.
down girl and yeah.
Shoot a glance over at him.
I'm sorry.
Right. He'll slowly stow his blade, crossing his arms.
Okay,
Just
I
answer.
hate to keep doing this. Is something up with Arthur? Am I am I insane? That's not like him. 13?
13.
What do I even
It's not
roll
very
against that?
high.
I don't know.
I don't know if
mean,
it's even a contested check,
Yeah,
I should say.
okay. Based on a 13, do I get anything, or you're just kind of, well,
You
bad
might
mood.
slightly get something, maybe, but if there's nothing there, there's
Yeah.
nothing there. And I'm not
Fair.
Arthur.
Okay.
Arthur just looks tired and a little irritated
Okay.
at everything going on here.
In that case, look, I get it, but at the time.
If anybody makes a demand of me one more time inside of my own tower, I'm going to get a bit irate. Anyways,
You
Then
have
would
my
you
deepest
answer
apologies.
the question, please?
that's better.
Yeah.
And he goes, I haven't had anybody in that bed there, as he points to the 5th bed, for a while. I've been reserving it for anyone that well, I don't just pick anyone. I teach at the Institute here in Daggerford. But these ones here are the best ones that I could find that I deemed to give private tutelage. Alright? I don't recall there being a 5th one, because I never brought in a 5th one to begin with.
Okay. But something's going on here. None
Clearly,
of
that's
you-
why we're here.
Okay.
You know, there are magical means to compel a person to forget, to follow an order. You know, if someone got the jump on you when you're vulnerable, just a passing glance, cast a spell, and suddenly you can forget a whole lifetime of memories for a time.
In this town, I am no underdog. For someone to be able to do that without my knowledge, it would be quite something. And besides, I hardly ever leave my tower.
I think we're able to break your other spells, right? This isn't impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's very complicated and all too hard for someone to just run at me with their powerful spells, casting things at me.
Okay. Well, let's go through this. What spell would somebody theoretically have to know to make? I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of you forget they were there.
Eris, the half-elf, she goes, well, isn't there only really one, but it's a rather high-level one, and it doesn't work like that, right? The other apprentices nod. As Delfen goes, indeed, and it would only remove 10 minutes worth of someone's memory.
What exactly is she talking about?
It's an enchantment spell. You probably wouldn't know it by name.
I DM, can I roll an Arcana, please?
Sure.
Thank you. I should just take 10. But that's not fun. Motherfucker.
Let's go gambling.
I'm sorry. I should have asked what you were rolling for to begin with. What did you want to know with an Arcana check?
I Aylin knows a lot about magic. Would this be a spell that she has come across?
Or perhaps knows by name.
Yes.
You wouldn't know it by name.
Wow.
Oh, is it this one by
Wow.
name?
You mean
Wow,
this
I
spell?
really did. Wait a minute. 6 plus 2. Are you still broken?
You kind
You
of
rolled
think
a
of
16. It's
I
okay.
no, I know. It's just it looks weird. Go ahead.
Our
kind of
proc bonus for our
think of
levels.
the
is
various
four.
spells within your repertoire, and you're like, no, that doesn't really. That's not nearly strong enough. And yeah, as you're thinking about it, there's not really a really good one you can think of that would be capable of doing all of that. And Delfen goes, in any case, have you heard of the spell Modify Memory?
Gosh, DM. Have any of us heard of Modify?
Not in a cleric spell list. Arthur doesn't know that shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not on mine
Unless
either.
It's
unless
actually,
in the sorcerer's spell list.
he goes, well, yeah, I you can try to roll an Arcana check for it, if you like.
Sure. Why not?
Worth a shot. Let's roll some dice, gamers.
But yeah,
Let's
for,
roll some dice.
for guys,
15.
Nah,
okay, 15, 13. Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Sorry. All right.
I've died.
No, not something you've quite heard of yet.
Head shake.
Pharoo kind of
Sounds-
speaks up and he goes,
Shrug.
I actually am aware of the spell Modify Memory. I taught a few lessons on it.
Can it do
Well,
this?
I shouldn't be too surprised on that.
No. It definitely cannot. Miss Athelion here is correct. It wouldn't be able to do that on so many people at the same time, as well as in a long-term sort of fashion. It's only meant to modify about 10 minutes worth of memory.
Okay.
Well, I suppose that rules that one out. And there's no higher form of this sort of thing?
Are you all entirely sure that this is the path we're supposed to be going down? What could make it so that all of us could collectively lose all of our memories?
I don't know, but you all seem unsure, and
The only
you
thing that comes remotely close would be
feel
something like
like-
that creature, the what was it? Some kind of intellect devourer,
brain thing.
whatever it was.
Um,
The brain thing.
No, but look, if you guys aren't sure of your answers, and you seem to be forgetting somebody, which, I mean,
I already told you there's... No one sleeps there. No one.
Team
Right,
I'm just gonna go over to the
everyone?
room.
Yeah. I'll shadow Kronk.
They hesitantly nod.
Yeah.
He hesitantly nods.
He?
Like
No,
he's
I
not.
said they hesitantly nod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where Kronk is going to open. Oh, actually, he's going to hover his hand over the door, look back. I'm not going to explode if I touch this, right?
Is it a
It's already
door or
happened.
is it just
It already happened once, and I don't want it to
I thought
happen
it was like
again.
a doorway that's already open.
That's a doorway.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I thought it was.
That did
Oh.
happen, though. What's a layout, DM?
Yeah, what is a DM? Give us that architecture degree.
Oh,
Yeah,
of-
baby.
Wait, I'm sorry. Of the apprentice room?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
kind
if
of
we wanna
figured
go
you
check out
guys
this
were
bit.
already in here,
Well, yeah.
but
I
But
don't. We don't have a map. I don't know what the fuck's going on. My mind
well,
is an enigma.
I did not figure all of you were standing in the doorway, like huddled there.
no,
I
we're
don't.
not.
I don't know.
We're all in the room.
I
Comma. In this room, are there 5 beds in a row? Like, what's going on?
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. So
Yeah, what's a layout here?
this
That's all we're
is
trying to
a circular tower, right? And so they are like laying kind of like along the beds, okay? In a circle along like the outer rim of the circle, right? And each of them have a footlocker, small desk next to them, and just like the filler space has, like a couple of wardrobes. There are chalkboards. There are shelves.
Okay. So there's no doorway. This mysterious 5th bed is just sitting there. Next to the others.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it away, Kron.
I guess Kronk will go up to the bed. Yeah. Because this is a communal living area, basically, right? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, there's just this 5th bed here, as well as, its own trunk and desk and whatever.
Right. Does the bed? And it's a bed, but is it? Like, can I notice if it's been disturbed or not?
Disturbed? Make an investigation check.
Can I help my buddy, Kronk? Can I aid him, perhaps?
He already made the roll, unfortunately.
I asked before you rolled.
I know you
Whatever.
asked, but because I saw the roll before I answered, it would be
You're
influence.
Stupid.
Yeah, I know. Yep. Okay, so on a 12, as to whether it's been disturbed, you give it a quick glance over. I mean, you can see there's like a couple of wrinkles in the like the sheet underneath as you like pull up the blanket and stuff. But besides that, don't really seem to spot anything.
I will open the footlocker and see if there's anything in there.
Okay.
It's a dead body, bro.
Sure. Make an investigation check for that.
I'm helping. It's
Okay.
not a question.
Alright.
Helping. You're doing the guidance thing without guidance.
You look in.
I
at the
come
same-
in.
Actually, do I have guidance? Hang
And
on,
look
I might
over
have
Kronk's shoulder. and
I'm
help him
gonna
look.
give Kronk guidance.
Ooh.
You can,
Oh yeah. All those
We're
buffs.
doing it.
So, yeah.
We're
You have
getting real
advantage and a
good.
D4 to add to this.
Alright,
Oh.
now we're
You
talking.
need it. Alright.
Oh
Roll the
my
D4.
gosh.
It's
That
empty.
gravy.
Roll a d4.
Gosh, dude.
Alright, below
Manage with an
Imagine it is just nothing.
And a
It's just an empty
D4.
box.
Dude. It's a
Hunter, roll a D4.
It's coffee.
Why? I got an 20. I'm saving it.
That's not how it works. I mean, I
What?
guess actually you could.
Because I gotta investigate the desk.
cantrip
now.
only
Okay, never
lasts
mind.
one
You're right. Yeah,
minute,
you can save
but-
it.
Okay.
The target can roll a D4, so the target chooses. So,
I mean, a
yep.
minute is not a lot of time, though, right? Like, I would figure that this would take roughly that amount of time, anyways.
So,
Just to, like, you know.
Fine. I'll
it
roll
takes a
D4.
minute and
Look
2 seconds.
inside.
Therefore, it goes away. You don't get a D4.
There.
There we go.
I checked. I timed it actually.
Okay.
I find this
That's what
single
I was
strip
looking
of or single grain of wood that's misaligned, and it's
That
a
actually
it's
gets
a-
you
it's a
into
trapdoor.
the very hard category for ability score or ability checks. So, all right. Well, yeah. This trunk it's dusty. You check the exterior and everything to make sure there's no disturbances there. You lift the lock kind of flap or whatever, because there's a space for a padlock on it, and you open it to peer inside. And it does appear pretty much empty. You know, there's it looks like dust has collected in here too. It seems like it hasn't been used in quite a while. One thing your eyes just barely manage to catch is down in the bottom of it, there is the teeniest little space that doesn't have dust on it. It's like no more than like a finger's breadth wide, like the tip of a finger, but you kind of reach down there and you place your finger right where it is, and you can feel this little, like, ever so subtle hidden divot in the bottom of the box. You kind of curl your fingernail underneath it, and now you can feel that the bottom of the box seems to kind of give way a little bit.
I'm just gonna look up at it, O'Brien. Looks like we got ourselves a little something down here. Start trying to pull it up, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Good stuff. Shoulder clip.
Secret compartment.
All right. Well, you pull up on it, and it seems to come free as everybody like seems to like be, you know, looking over your shoulder and everything, and you see Delfen and the apprentice's eyes like start to widen as you like pull that free. You see like one of the apprentices run off over to their own trunk and like start like feeling inside.
Oh my goodness.
As you pull it free to reveal that this bottom here, it's just like this very thin board, right, that seems to have been sitting down at the bottom. Now you can see the bottom. In fact, the bottom is it's a different like color of wood, but now you can see that there is something sitting down in the bottom there, covered by a cloth. And it looks spherical.
Is it an orb? Are we about to ponder?
Orbs are generally spherical. It's a good question.
Kronk, looking back at Adelbrand. Should I touch this? Am I gonna lose the other side of my face?
Oh, you want me to go for it?
Yeah, fuck it, might as well. And Kronk will. You said it was like covered in something?
Yeah, it's
Like
covered by a cloth.
Or
Kinda
I
just
will
lightly rests on it.
gently grab it by using the cloth as like a barrier. Like pick
Okay.
it up with the cloth.
All right. So you palm this orb using the cloth as a barrier between it and your hand.
Ghosts can't go through doors.
And
Curses, 50 towels.
You pick it up, and I assume you turn it over in your hand, so that the cloth
Yeah.
is okay. So that whatever's inside is facing up. Kronk, what you are currently looking at is this fist-sized, kind of like crystalline orb. It is pitch black, black as void, and has these veins of silvery ether kind of running down it.
Oh, friggin'
And Delfen is like, "What the fuck?" As like he's looking at
He
that.
didn't even.
Looks like I'm your favorite princess now.
Kronk, the only one here who literally has no magic.
I
No,
cast
he's the
feast.
fifth apprentice. Okay, beast. Oh my god, he's Mashal. Dude, that's great. I love it.
So, what were you
That's
saying
so
about
awesome.
that? Are we sure about following this path?
Snarky one, aren't you? Anyway, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what that thing is.
I don't either, but before we get any further, I'm gonna pull out and use my Wand of Secrets.
You have a
Anything
wand of
else? Yeah.
secrets?
Oh yeah, bro.
What the heck?
A
Where'd you
wand
pick
shaped
that
like
up
a
from?
question mark, the Amber Temple. The wand
course.
has 3 charges. You can use an action to use the wand to find secret doors within 30 feet, or traps, and the charges return. Maybe every day at dawn, roll a d3 for charges gained that day. So at the end of every day, you roll a
Alright.
d3 and get that many back.
Hmm.
Anyway, using a single charge, are there any other secrets within 30 feet of me? Secret doors or traps?
Adelbrand, as you activate the wand draws your fingers as they lead and suddenly point directly at the trunk you just watched.
Okay. Nothing else?
Nothing else currently. That would have been great to use from the
Yeah,
get-go.
Kronk found it. We don't need magic
Kronk is
items.
just that
Kronk's
good at
here. Yeah,
investigating you.
Kronk's just that good.
Yeah.
I shove it back in my
He's just that guy.
bag of junk. Yeah, well, looks like that's it.
Arthur's gonna kind of raise a brow at this sudden wand being pulled out of his bag and just. What in the house did you get that from?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it's bathroom.
Weird.
Okay.
Guess it's no weirder than this. He holds up his. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. There it is. This is a little bit of chalk. There's a little bit left at the bottom. I had to get it. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, dude.
My
I
bad.
had my train right off the rails. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Arthur's gonna go like,
Nope.
oh, I guess it's no weirder than this. And he like holds up his hand and shows the ring that he's got on.
What ring did you have on?
Oh, I guess
Hello.
you would probably know what it is. We might have gotten it in the same spot, if not just beforehand. It's his Ring of Spells. It was
I
a gift
remember-
from Garrick, if
Garrick.
you remember that.
Vaguely. Barely. Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
okay. Anyway, it was something that Garrick had on him, and as he was departing the group, he gave each person an item, I think. And Arthur got a
We
ring of spells.
looted him.
We
Yeah.
looted him. Yeah.
So, can anybody tell what this is?
Arthur's gonna go up and try to investigate, because I don't think I
Investigation.
know what it is. Well, the orb, what color is it, GM?
It is the color of utter nothingness. It is black.
That was just... Ew. Alright, well, I don't know what that means, but I'll investigate. I'm gonna... guidance myself.
Well, I should say it's black with like these kind of like weird tendrils or almost veins that seem to like drift down the sides of it.
Dude, it's Fushigi ball.
Like
oh my
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Fushigi.
But
What
yeah.
the-
There's childhood memories too.
The thing is it doesn't look like the veins are on the outside. It looks like they are, like if you
They're,
were
like,
looking into a
swirling
snow
within?
globe, they would be like directly inside of the glass, like clinging to the inside of the snow globe.
That's
You know?
normal. I'm sure it's nothing.
And yeah, as you like look at them, you know, it kind of looks like there's like 5 like veins that just kind of like seem to like move. They drift ever so slightly.
Is it like I forget what the exact name is called, but is it like one of those electric ball things with like the arcing tendrils of lightning going through it, or is it
No,
more so
because
an
that
ethereal
is-
kind of
It's a plasma.
kind of like
Yeah, it's
Arthur's
kind
Arms of Hadar kind of thing?
Yes. It's,
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
almost like
So at least
yeah,
looks a little
their
familiar,
veins. They
but-
calmly kind of like seem to drift instead of making those you
Okay.
know like jolting movements.
Gotcha. Would this be, I mean, it does make a difference, but would this be Arcana or Investigation to determine the nature of this thing?
It would be Arcana for that.
Arcana.
Arm
Okay,
con-
that's 17, and then D4. Alright, 21.
Wow, 21. Okay, so looking at this, Arthur, you can definitely tell that this is some kind of magical object. Based on what you're seeing here, there's not a lot to study about it. You kind of like rack your brain for various, you know, arcane items that you know of, magical items, and you're thinking, you know,
Anything
like
similar.
orbs. You know, there's, I guess there's ones used to like, you know, get visions of other people sometimes. There's, okay, those ones
Like
explode.
arcane focuses and
Yeah,
things.
and,
There's
and
one ex-
you're like racking your brain, and you're like, I can't think of any that really meet this, this description.
Criteria.
And so, you know, you're just gazing at it, and you know, something about the weird veins kind of like catches your eye. And Arthur, you're kind of caused to wonder, like, you know, are those just some sort of decorative thing, or do they have a function? Because you can see that they're moving around, they're like wisping around in there, you know, all 5 of these veins. you're like, I can't help but wonder if that has something to do with how this thing functions or what it's doing.
Okay. I would like to. Gosh, what am I thinking here? I'm gonna detect magic on it. Because obviously I know it is magical, but if I can try and figure out what kind of magic this thing does, then that would be...
Alright. Let me go ahead and
Good,
see the
right?
description for Detect Magic.
It detects if an item is magical, but it also gives the school of magic, if
Right.
any. So,
Okay, so, Arthur, as you look at this, using Detect Magic, you are able to determine that, of course, it is magical, and this bears an aura of enchantment.
okay. Arthur mutters softly under his breath after a soft glow dissipates. So it's something enchanting. Okay. Well, that tells me something at the very least. I'm gonna look over to Delfen. Have you taught anybody specifically about enchantment magics? At least anyone recently?
Well, of course
I
I
know you're a
have. I'm a
professor and
professor.
all.
Yes,
Right.
I've taught many.
Well, this here is swimming with it, so I'm not sure if that means that there's an enchantment placed on it, or if it's a focus used specifically for enchantments. Either way, it seems like a sort of powerful tool.
He looks at it skeptically. All right. Well, we have found something that's not supposed to be here. The next
You reckon it's
step...
at all related to that Charlatan thing you're talking about?
I don't think anything's out of the question at this point. Our friend, it seems, had quite a few tricks up his sleeve. Again, there are other matters I need to discuss.
Or
At least once this business is over with.
Alright. Debate. I flip a coin. Hang on. Alright, Arthur is going to pick up the orb.
Okay. You pluck the orb from Kronk's hand, and it is in your hand.
Alright. Arthur's just gonna be busy inspecting this thing a little deeper. Just. Yeah, he's doing the big think, the big investigate, trying to figure out what the hell this thing is, what it's used for.
Okay. Well, based off of your visual inspection before, that's basically all I can really tell you.
Gotcha. Right, you said you had more you wanted to talk about. Go on.
Well, are we suddenly diverting our attention from that? Hello, anyone? There's 5 of you.
So none of us can figure out what this is. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, let me see it.
No.
Did you hear what she said, Arthur?
Who's got the orb?
Arthur has the
Arthur
orb.
currently is holding and studying this thing.
Okay. Do we hand it to Aelin or not?
He'll hold it out, but he's still got his hand on it.
Okay.
She's gonna take it from him
Soft cup.
and relax. You'll get your toy back. Aelin is going to cast guidance on herself. Then we're going to. It's a Arcana roll, correct, DM?
We love guidance today.
Yes.
Guidance is really good.
Aelin, I am begging you. Just hit the mark.
Alas.
Wait,
I'm gonna.
where's your D4?
I-
Maybe you'll get above a 10.
Ah,
I feel like I'm gonna get punched.
There are violent thoughts in my head right now that I'm gonna keep to
No.
myself in the later
Oh,
crash
Oh,
out.
man.
Should have just taken a 10. I don't know why I didn't just take 10. You know what? It's fine. It's
Wait, you can take 10 in 5e?
I
think this is
believe that's what
I
Pharoo
know.
has been doing.
it's not phrased that way. It's a little bit more vague. It says
I
if
was gonna
you
say-
can succeed at something given infinite time, you do not need to roll for it. So technically, no.
I see.
It's just like if nothing's stopping you from just doing the thing, you can
Then
just,
you just
do the
take
thing.
as long as it takes to
Yeah,
do the thing.
yeah.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
It's somewhere in the DMG or something. I don't remember, but
I need to buy the DMG for myself at some point, dude.
I have it. Do you want it?
I have.
Are you sure?
Oh, well, I need to give John the fucking.
yeah, whatever you get rid of that piracy deal. Anyway,
I'm
sorry.
it's totally illegal.
Aelin,
extra legal acquisition.
Yeah, man.
Aelin's gonna hold it. Realize that she doesn't have a clue, and she's gonna start tossing it slightly up in the air, catching it. Huh. And then she's just gonna plop it back into Arthur's hands. I want to try again later, but for now, enjoy your orb.
He'll just simply nod.
So nobody knows what this is.
Not yet, no.
Alright. That's really our best lead right now, so
Give me some time. I'll study it.
if you just sit with a magical thing for like an hour, get you learn it or whatever,
Old attunement, but yeah.
you know. I don't know. Just do that.
He'll nod and just go quiet as he ponders the orb.
Brew is pondering.
Ugh.
Bro is pondering. Alright, he ponders, the others chat about. I imagine Delfen is getting a little tired of us pondering an orb.
Alright,
That's
well-
a word for it.
That's the word for it. Dude, extra legal DMG. Whoa.
Wow.
It's like all of them, though.
It's like all of them. Oh my gosh, right. Holy.
Wow.
It's even got the
So-
new stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, I'm getting distracted.
So you said you had other concerns. Why don't we talk about them now while he tries to figure out if he can stare into the abyss?
Well, it's nothing I hadn't brought up already, but let me see here. Removing the arcane boundaries I placed on that room is not a simple matter of casting one dispel magic spell and then blasting your way through the doors. It can't be done. There are many layers you have to go through in order to do that. In addition, once they were in, they managed to cast magic despite the anti-magic preparations I had already made within. It's very perturbing. Frankly, it doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, there is the matter of the actual escape, which I am unable to trace at this venture.
Okay, well, let's rule out some of the easy stuff. What's stopping us from just doing locate object and
Because,
finding it?
as I told you, and I would love someone to try, but jumping around, running around with a 100-pound shard of Chardolin is not anything a practical user of the arcane arts would attempt. He didn't have it in his hands. His, I don't know. His, her. They didn't have it in their hands. It was already gone. Which is to say... He raises his eyebrows, kind of looking at you expectantly.
I refuse to be patronized and alright. So they don't have it. Actually, that's a good question. What stopped you from blowing it up? Why keep this thing?
I already told you. Alright, let me see here. I'm not one to assume, so I'll just ask. How much do you know about wizardry, arcane, sorcerer's arts? You ever been to a magic school? Just a moment, I'm being yelled at from my wife in the other room.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. What a guy.
No,
What a
because
guy.
those are for nerd.
Does she
Sorry.
know about it?
Oh my gosh.
Your jokes hurt.
Yeah.
I'm
They cause
sorry.
physical pain.
I'm sorry.
Not you.
I
No,
was...
not you.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I don't
Yeah,
feel
you're
bad.
right, you're right.
She knows who she is.
I'm just sitting here.
Just generous. That's neat. Oh wow.
Oh, I need food. Oh, I have lava cakes.
Very nice, very nice.
I wish I had a lava cake.
I would share, but I don't wanna.
Dang, got me
Damn.
there. Alright. Fair enough.
It is what it is, man.
I mean, they're just little dominoes on the plate lava cake, so like.
Yeah, no, I want lava cake, dude. That sounds great.
Man.
Ugh,
Facts.
right? Ugh. Anyway. Dude, this website's kind of cool. I like this.
Could you fax me a lava cake?
Could you
Yeah,
fax
just
me a lava cake?
Email one over. That's cool.
I'll airdrop them.
Oh my gosh.
Hell
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Listen, if I had the
Holy
funds, I straight
crap!
up
This
would.
site has rules.
Dude,
Oh,
it has
Yeah,
everything.
it has
my
everything.
Gosh,
It
dude,
has
that's
the rules
actually
glossary
so
page.
It has
enormous.
like every module, the maps and everything. Like,
Dude,
good
it has
lord.
all the tables too for items and everything. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ability checks. It's got, dude.
This
is
kind of
insane.
I kind of just ran into it like a couple nights ago making my D&D
This is
thing.
insane. It has different books too. You can view all
Yeah.
or homebrew. You can do just
That's
Player's
kinda
Handbook from 24, Monster Manual, yada yada. All the different supplements that have been added.
Yeah.
This is insane. Jeez, I think you've got like everything for your players, your dungeon masters, got all the different references. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is huge.
kind of big.
What is this? Install Tamper Monkey for Chrome or Firefox and the
I went
better,
mining for copper and I found gold.
the better
Man,
R20 script, all of which require the 5e by Roll20 sheet. Curious what that does. I'll mess with that later. This seems really cool. I like it. You can even do stat generation. That's fun. Loot generator, CR calculator. Jeez.
That was very helpful.
What's up?
I said that is very helpful.
Oh, the CR calculator?
Yes, but I
Stat
was not
generator.
talking about that. Yeah, stat generator would be good.
Dude, stat
Although I think
generator's really good.
we generally do
We've
that
already,
here.
yeah, we've already done all our rolls and everything. but,
Yeah,
like,
that's not really.
yeah. You can reset everything. You can select your background, your species, how many ASIs you've done, your feats. That's really neat. I don't think it generates a character sheet, but like, it's pretty close. It's neat.
Dude,
do it
if your
manually, you
passive
do
perception
25,
is
standard.
20 or higher, you can be woken up by people whispering within 10 feet of you.
What?
That's in the rules.
Oh
That's
my God.
insanity.
Good lord.
What? Wait.
Waking
Rules
someone.
glossary.
A creature that is naturally sleeping as opposed to magically or chemically wakes up if they take any damage or if someone else uses an action to shake them awake. That's in like
Oh
the
my
sleep
gosh.
spell rules. A sudden
Yeah.
loud noise, such as yelling, thunder, or a ringing bell, also awakens someone who is sleeping naturally. Whispers don't disturb sleep unless a sleeper's passive wisdom perception score is 20 or higher and the whispers are within 10 feet of the sleeper.
Holy shit, so I had fucking 20 perception for like half my life. God damn it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, deep perception is huge.
Hang on. I'm reading a couple new things that I'm unfamiliar with.
That's
There's
crazy.
action options. There's climb onto a bigger creature, disarm, mark, overrun, shove aside, and tumble. I am unfamiliar with like half of these.
Some of them might be 24 rules.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Mark is from PHP 24. It looks like. Or that's what it's referencing. Well, I don't know. It's saying this is from
Yeah,
D&D
wait.
14, page 271.
Optional This is an optional thing. This action is an optional
Yeah.
addition to the game from the optional variant rule action options.
Yeah.
Wait, until the end of the attacker's... When a creature makes a melee attack, it can also mark its target until the end of their next turn. Any opportunity attack it makes against a marked target has advantage. The opportunity attack doesn't expend the attacker's reaction with the attacker. The attack, if anything, such as incapacitated condition, is preventing it from taking reactions. The attacker is limited to one opportunity attack per turn. That doesn't make any sense. That's just free.
Free advantage.
Yeah, why would you
But you
ever
have
not
to-
do that?
Wait. Oh, it's not even on hit. It's just when you make the attack.
Yeah.
So you can swing, miss.
I
and
can
then
see
get
why it
advantage.
is optional if that's real.
Yeah, that's.
Is this real? Where
I
did
don't
that
know,
come
man.
from?
It's saying it's coming from DMG 14.
So we have the
Page
DMG.
271. If you
on
have a
hand.
physical book, you can go double check page
Wait,
271.
I have
for
a.
us.
I think I have a PDF buried somewhere in my files.
Alright.
Hang on.
If you're able to go find that page, then by all means.
Yeah, we've got a sec.
Alright. I'm gonna read Tumble. I'm curious. A creature can try to tumble through a hostile creature's space, ducking and weaving past the opponent. As an action or a bonus action, the tumbler makes a dexterity acrobatics check, contested by the hostile creature's dexterity acrobatics check. So just contested acrobatics. If the tumbler wins the contest, it can move through the hostile creature's space once this turn. Interesting. Okay.
Dude, yeah, there are action options, page 271. This section provides
Yeah.
new action options for combat. They can be added as a group or individually to your game. And one of them is Mark. This option makes it easier for melee combatants to harry each other with opportunity attacks. When a creature makes a melee attack, it can also mark its target. Until the end of the attacker's next turn, any opportunity attack it makes against a marked target has advantage. The opportunity doesn't expend the target's
word for
reaction,
word,
but
dude.
the attacker can't make the attack if anything is preventing it from taking reactions. Attacker is limited to one opportunity attack per turn. There's no reason not to do that unless I'm
Yeah.
reading this wrong. Like, that's just free advantage and an extra reaction.
Yeah. So
Hello?
that's word for word,
Alright.
as it states
Let-
here. I didn't know that was a thing. I
Either.
mean, there's also shove aside, which with this option, a creature uses the special shove action, or sorry, shove attack from the player's handbook to force the target to the side rather than away. The attacker has disadvantage on its strength athletics check when it does so. If that check is successful, the attacker moves the target 5 feet to a different space within its reach. So you could shove someone off a cliff, theoretically.
Well, there's already
Oh,
could
within
always
its
do
reach,
that.
never mind.
Yeah, there's
Never
already a shove action. This is just for moving them in a direction besides a straight line away. This will be good to read through later, but
What are you guys talking about?
there's a section
It's
in the
just optional
DMG
attack
called
options.
extra attack, like
Or action
action
options.
options.
Are
It
you
just
kidding
gives
me?
you. No, we just found this.
This is from DMG 14,
Yeah.
page 271.
Where the heck? 271, you said?
271, if you want
Okay, not right now. We're doing it. No.
Well, hang on. I just want to. I need to.
No,
verify
it's real.
what
I
you're
looked at it. I
saying.
promise I can see it all.
There's
all
action
go through
options.
the-
Climb onto a bigger creature, disarm,
Oh
mark,
my
overrun, shove
God.
aside, and
Mark-
tumble.
Oh my. Oh.
Look what you did.
What have I done?
Okay, we're not reading this right now. We're moving
Oh,
on
I
before
know.
you get freaking
I
stun
just got
I've
locked.
been
curious
wanting
while we
this
were
stuff
bored.
for
I'm sorry, man.
ages.
We can go over that page later if you
Although
want.
there's
Imagine
not an option
reading
to
the
slam
books.
a guy's head into a bar table and then run his head through the drinks. So what's even the point?
Man, not worth it. Not worth it, really, when you think about it.
Yeah. Bad game. No rules.
Where were we?
Arthur was pondering the orb. We were still talking to Delfen, and he was about to tell us about something. Dang it, what was it?
Yeah, somebody asked him a question or
Yeah.
something.
Who asked
Oh
what,
my
though?
gosh.
I
think
think
Adelbrand did.
I asked him something like, yeah, okay, I remember. It was why didn't you just
Yeah.
blow this thing up? Like, why leave it in your basement?
Oh, the Chardolin or the orb?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
the
the
orb. You didn't
orb.
know about, so.
Obviously.
Chardolin?
Yeah, the shadow.
Oh yeah, and he
That
asked
Kronk's
you,
answer, that's what-
do you have any
that's the
experience
problem.
with like arcane arts or?
Oh yeah,
magic
and
or
he had
something?
asked if I was
Yeah.
magic-y, and I had stared at him.
Kronk's just gonna look at him. No, it's the first time. I don't like the magics.
Yeah,
Right.
kind of. Not like that anyway.
Okay, well, I'm sure that I can find a way to relate to you. Have you ever heard the term "know thy enemy"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. I need time. As much as I'd love to eradicate every single bit of Charlatan off the face of the earth, there's a reason that people like you two take hostages. Bring people in for questioning, infiltrate, do things like that. I need to know how it works, because in the case that anybody were to ever come across something like this by accident, I'd have no idea how to deal with it.
Okay.
And again, I felt as though I were very correct in my judgment that no one, and I mean no one, would either know about it, and in the case that they did, they would never be able to get in, which they wouldn't, because I made sure nobody knew about it.
Alright, well. For now, this is probably as far as we can get before Arthur's got that sorted and I jerk ahead earlier, and so I think we're probably done with the you guys. Yeah?
Kronk's gonna investigate that table now.
What table we talking?
I thought you said there was the bed, there was the
Oh, right,
foot
the
thing
desk.
and
Right.
the desk, yeah.
Roll an investigation check.
Alright.
Hey, hang on. I gave Kron my glasses. I want these back.
Okay.
I forgot you had the glasses.
You have advantage on your check now,
Oh,
if you
man.
put one.
What
I'll
are
put
those
'em on.
two?
Help you see.
Get me them.
Oh my goodness.
He just kind of gives her a, not really, a smile, like, wouldn't she like to know? No.
Rolls her eyes at him.
Yep.
Fine,
Yeah.
keep your secrets.
Parker's gonna gently elbow Adelbrand. Play nice.
I'd just like to say, what a great Lord of the Rings quote. That is such a great Lord of the Rings quote from the best movie
What is?
ever made on the planet.
Wait, what quote? What quote?
The fine, keep your secrets.
Oh.
I don't remember that from the movie,
You
and I
do.
haven't
You
watched it in a
definitely do.
hot minute.
No,
I
you
don't
do because you
actually.
love that
No, I
movie
don't
and
remember.
it's like
No,
your favorite movie.
I will crash out right here, right now in this room. This whole campaign, Gale. Let it go. Let it
That
go.
was like the third time tonight.
Yup.
Everything okay?
No, I'm having a really bad time in life. So let's continue with the D&D so I can
Okay.
pretend it doesn't exist right now.
All right. Yes. Okay. So, where the heck were we? Right. Rolling eyes.
We're figuring
Play
it out.
nice.
Investigating table.
Kronk is investigating.
Right. Yes.
Funny.
Kronk, checking the table. This actually appears mostly clean. as compared to the storage box. Not a whole lot of dust upon it. Which, per your investigation, you do find curious, because why would, you know, the desk be clean while the storage box was still dusty and stuff? But yeah, you go ahead and you go through all the drawers and everything in it. They're empty. They do not have anything in them currently.
So it's not dust. This has either been used recently or cleaned recently. It's not dusty.
The desks are only used by the apprentices. I can't imagine why. Have you all been messing with this desk at all? The others shrug. They don't really seem to show any indication that they have.
Great.
Starting to sound like you had a rat in your castle. Tower. Sorry.
Did you ask how?
You
That
have
sounds-
a rat. Yeah, you sound like you have a rat in your tower.
Silence the thought. Yes, well, that is why we're here, isn't it? Again, nobody can just waltz on in here and blow up my tower unless they have very specific preparations, and even then... You see,
You know, it's starting to
seems to ponder.
It's starting to sound like someone was sneaking in and out around you. That memory modification spell does work. 10 minutes is plenty of time to erase seeing someone. And it would give them an opportunity to break your spells one by one.
I would agree with you if I were someone to just walk around the streets on the constant. But I don't. I am more than capable of getting anywhere I need to go with a flick of my wrist and a couple of uttered words. Helps with being
Oh,
late
I wasn't
on-
talking about.
I'm sorry.
Continue, DM.
Oh no, you guys talked at the same time, and so he goes, I'm sorry.
I wasn't talking about you having your memory modified. I'm more talking about the four over there.
Well, whoever did it didn't do a great job if you all can tell somehow something's missing.
I Well, I suppose they attend the encapsulate as I do. But yes, well, maybe they did all just suddenly have the memory modified all at the same time of the same person within a 10-minute time span.
Sarcasm isn't cute. What I'm saying is that if someone were to be able to watch you, check when you leave, and it's only those four really in your tower, they can pop in, sneak in, turn into a rat if you would, whatever you desire, the way be. They come in, and they start watching and tampering with certain things, and if they get caught, they just modify the memory of whoever caught them, which is, I'm going to guess they don't really stick together often.
The things one would need to do in order to barge into this place are extraordinary, shall we say. Although,
He's already
I suppose I already knew that, yes, yes. Even so... seems a bit crude, especially to be modifying everyone's memory. Are you telling me that all four of these ones detected whatever individual, and they did it on all of them? I don't even think that's possible.
I have heard very strange things recently in terms of the arcane. I don't think anything would surprise me at this point. I mean, if you can mass cure wounds like a cleric, why can't a wizard learn to mass modify memory? The weave is ever expanding and ever changing.
Well, if you want to go down that path, then I think you're broadening things rather than narrowing them down.
Well, we have an arcane magic user with a maroon cloak that has now a piece of chatelaine that could be in a bag of holding or reduced or whatever have you, and no way to find them. With magic that even confuses me. That's pretty broad already.
That is the problem, is they are not... wherever they learned what they did in order to undo my safeguards, it is not orthodox by any means. In fact, I couldn't even begin to quantify how one would go about that using the weave. I don't.
Okay, well, I think we're good for now. Probably don't need you four anymore, right? I look at the not kids, mostly adults who are apprentices or whatever. Probably let them be. Look around for anybody else needs anything or wants to ask about it. Alright. Enough for me. I'll take this somewhere.
You'll take it. Why?
Finders keepers.
That's not how that works. You're here by invitation.
Okay. How about this? We figure out what it does, and then we'll see if we need it to figure this out or not.
He goes, alright, well, it was randomly just hidden here within my building. Very well. Bram, come here, please. The human with the spectacles kind of makes his way forward. He goes, Bram, I'd like you to cast Identify on this object, please. Bram gives a nod.
Could have done that a while ago.
Bram kind of reaches out for the orb, Arthur. Go
Right.
ahead and touch it. So, if you allow him to,
I do.
his hand begins to glow, kind of like this gray color, as he reaches forward and kind of like just the palm and like the inner ends of his fingers has that kind of glow to it as he touches it, and you see as he seems to be concentrating. He's got his eyes closed and he's his brow is stitched as he kind of before suddenly his eyes shoot open and kind of go wide, and you see him kind of like stumble back. He goes, "Ah, no way." You can see like he's kind of blinking rapidly as he kind of I've never seen anything like that.
Would
Never.
you,
I never
care
thought.
to elaborate there?
Yes. He looks over toward Delfen, who kind of gives him a nod, and he goes, That is a very high class magical item. It's called an Obscura node.
Blink block. Does Arthur know what that is?
Or he dies.
Can I get the spelling of that? I'm not.
Sure.
I don't even want to try.
Cool. Can Arthur try and determine what that is?
Make an Arcana check.
Alright, we're gonna guidance that real quick.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Frickin'
Listen, it's good. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, but
There's that.
he's about to tell us anyway.
That's a 19. Yeah, but I want to know with my own.
Alright, Arthur, 19.
Sweet.
You're kind of like thinking, and you're like, I can't think of any magical objects labeled that. As
Man.
Delfen says, I can't think of any magical objects labeled that. What? Elaborate. And Bram, he goes, it's a very niche magical item. It's meant to be planted in a specific location. This is very specific, but well, here. And he goes on to explain the following to you all.
Alright.
An Obscura node is something that is anchored into a location via a 1-hour activation ritual. Upon activation, to any but the user, within a 100-foot radius of it. The node creates a continuous invisible field. Any creature that is caught within the radius has all memories of a specific subject removed or altered.
Ah.
Great.
This can include people, events, concepts, or objects. Only one subject can be targeted at a time. But this object is... it's basically an expendable. It cannot be used again.
Okay.
The only way to remove the magical effect that it brings is to smash the object or destroy it in
Okay.
some way, shape, or form. The effect is an ongoing and indefinite effect on any who are within that 100-foot radius that continue to stay there.
Arthur's gonna look over to Kronk. Alright, big guy, I think it's time for your specialty here.
Oh. What? Kronk's gonna take the orb.
Kronk smash.
And from the 3-point line, I throw this. He's gonna throw it at like the stone wall. Like it
Oh my
just
god.
absolutely shatter the fuck out of it.
Okay, well,
Oh man.
This bitch him.
check how much.
Yeet.
Oh my god.
God.
My king.
Okay, alright. Kronk, go ahead and roll the first attack of the campaign. Go
I would
for it,
love to
buddy.
DM.
It's only fitting.
What am I rolling?
Actually, I guess, well, technically one other attack was made, but that was on a, well, this is basically the same thing. Well, if you're swinging at it, just make an attack roll with your weapon of choice.
No, I'm yeeting it against a wall.
Oh, you're yeeting, oh.
From the 3-point line, here I
I
go.
don't actually know how
Yeet.
this is supposed to.
Improvise range. Weapon attack.
Yeah, but the object is the thing he's trying to hurt. So,
I
I'll
don't know,
tell
you
you
can
what.
calculate the fall
I'm
damage of
gonna
pitching it
have
into a wall.
you, Kronk, make. I feel like this could be similar
Terrain?
to like a break check for Pathfinder. To where you like roll a strength check or something like that. Let me think of, you know.
If only there is
I
a
wish they had something.
skill for your strength.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the skill gets used every time you want to use strength.
That's the point of skills.
No, it's not.
But what if it is?
But it's literally.
It bothers
It's
me.
not.
It's stupid. Athletics doesn't do anything.
Athletics. What do you mean it doesn't do anything? You use it on grapples. You use it on frickin' climbing things.
One
you
other
use it-
thing.
You use it on like pulling things. You use it on so many
Oh my
things.
Gosh.
Anywho, breaking items. When a character tries to break or burst something with sudden force, or rather than by dealing damage, okay, so all right, almost there. Okay. Okay. To break this, Krog, I'm gonna have you roll me a Oh gosh. Yeah, this game is not Pathfinder, so
Like to imagine before he does this, we all just look at each other like, hmm.
Yep.
This
okay.
is what must be done.
Like, here goes your thing, can't erase a memory. Holds the ball of memory erasing orb. Hmm.
Jesus.
Honestly, here's what I'm gonna do, Kronk, is I'm going to have you,
And it honestly doesn't really matter to him, because if it doesn't work, I'll just hit him with my fucking hand. Some shit.
right. I'm going to have you roll strength. You're going to add your proficiency bonus to it, okay? But it's not gonna be no, it's not. It's not an athletics check. It can't be classified that way. This is a DM ruling to have it be that way. Okay, so strength plus 4. That's a 21. Okay. So in order to damage this properly... Okay. Sounds good. Alright, so you sling it at the wall, and for the record, the walls are made of stone. And so,
Yeah.
whoosh! The Obscura node shatters into a gazillion different pieces as the shards kind of just fall to the floor, and Delfen and everybody kind of like stare for a second before all seeming to blink at once before Delfen goes, "Oh, son of a..." and yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna try asking you again here. Who's your 5th apprentice?
That would be Vincent Anthe.
And they are?
I don't know yet, but
Great.
I will do my utmost to know. Vincent. At this point, yeah, the apprentices, they start chiming in. I remember him now. Yeah, he was sleeping right there. Yeah, and he was the one who
Oh god.
Delfen kind of like waves them off. He's like, Vincent Anthe was a very special pick from the Sorcerer Encapsulate. I saw an extreme amount of potential in him and elected him to be my 5th apprentice. And so
Potential sounds dangerous.
I brought him in. And one of them goes, the halfling goes, well, that was only a few days ago, wasn't it? Yes. It's only been a number of days.
okay. Well. Pretty.
What was his name?
Vincent Anthe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, my.
Somebody I think we recognize. But...
We all scribble in our journals.
Yep.
Nope.
Who, what did he look like, or... No.
I'm
Oh,
pulling it up.
okay. Yeah, you're good. Ha.
for stuff.
Oh,
Ugh. Where did I put you? Alright, control F time.
Keurigs make amazing water heaters. So you see as well.
It's almost like that's what it is.
It is. It is. It's true, actually. It's a water heater with like half of a coffee maker glued on one end.
Yep.
Alright, yes, he was tall. Kind of gaunt figure. He had high cheekbones and a kind of longish, angular nose. He had pale skin. And I believe I noticed he seemed to have like a couple of personal tattoos on the back of his neck or something like that. But it's none of my business. It wasn't.
Never see what they were.
No, because I'm not a perv.
Just give him a look like, really? Like.
Oh.
How is it human?
Yes.
Well, we have a main suspect, I guess. Does anybody have locate person? That'll make this a lot easier.
I don't
Still
think
here, we know.
locate object would work.
Let's see if Winter
with,
has it.
No, locate person. It's a different spell.
I don't think that's a cleric spell, is it?
It's a
No,
really-
no, it's just higher level than what I'm able.
If he was a plant, I've got him
Uh,
locked in, but
Never mind, never mind.
Locate
It's,
creature.
4th level.
I thought locate person was a spell on my loot.
I
Locate
don't
creature is
think
4th level.
so.
Locate person is not, I think, because creature
People are
encapsulates
creatures.
people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh,
locate
you guys
creature
are
is
right.
describing the
Yeah.
name of a creature that is familiar to you, and then you sense that creature's direction. So,
You're right. I'm a fool. There.
yeah.
Okay.
Creature does entail a human.
In that case,
Oh.
Adelbrand, who knows what he's talking about? Anybody have locate creature? That would make this pretty easy if he's still in the city.
Arthur shakes his head. I'm not that proficient yet, though we could always go ask Winter. She might know a thing or two. Because Winter is higher level.
Want to follow us over? Or
I
is
thought
she, like,
Winter
maybe
was
staying?
staying with the kids to look over them.
Gosh, DM.
Okay.
I thought
I
she was
personally
with us.
don't remember. If she's here with us, then we could always just.
Oh,
Well,
of course it's a
Hello,
Y and not
friend.
an I.
I was under the impression that you.
Fantasy
as-
name. Maybe you should know.
I was under the impression that you, as responsible adults, left the kids all by themselves and took Winter with you. But
Oh,
Did
yeah.
That's usually what Adelbrand does. A very responsible father.
Look,
as we've
man.
seen.
Didn't Arthur give them like a gold? Didn't Pharoo give them gold
Correct.
to like go
Yes.
shopping
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
they-
Winter
they-
could come with us?
They're fine.
Yep.
They're in
Probably.
the day in the town.
Uh,
Like, man, it's not like we're in the projects or something. They're fine.
Oh my god.
very responsible.
She goes, yes, I have it, but it's not prepared today.
Okay, well, if he's in the city, we can find him that way really easy tomorrow, I guess.
Yes, well, I don't really see why he'd find it fit to hang around, even up until now.
That's what I was saying, and you kept insisting that he was still here. So,
I knew he would still be here by the time I made the mandate. Not now.
Grumble, grumble.
Which is why you people are here in the first place, or else I could try to handle it myself.
well, if he's not here,
Which we don't know.
if he's elsewhere, aren't there spells for that too? I mean, I could follow him if I, found him in the first place, but it's not really helpful.
I don't think it's a matter of where he is, it's a matter of where he's heading at this point.
And if we know that,
Did the kid ever
Oh.
give you any of his ambitions? Anything he might have wanted out of learning from you?
If I recall, he kind of like folds his hands together and like places them in front of his face, with like his pointer fingers sticking up as he like places them
Yeah.
over his lips.
Equals his hands.
yeah.
Vincent came to the encapsulate on Flame Rule the 11th. I took him in on the 15th, 5 days ago. As you can imagine, I didn't have all the time in the world to be studying his every move, every little tattoo on his back, every wrinkle on his balls, and his personality. So,
You are just colorful, aren't you?
I'll take that as a compliment.
Right.
Okay.
Adelbrain rubbing off on Arthur over here.
Careful. Alright. So, how are we gonna find him then?
That is the question.
Do we have anything you can scry with, or
Yes, in fact, since I'm familiar with him, why don't I attempt a scry myself? Unless one of you are capable.
Not in my
Alright.
repertoire.
Is Winter with us?
What is...
She doesn't know scry, does she?
No.
Yeah, no. It's not a...
I don't think she does.
I can check for you.
Even if she did, she would have a
Well,
lower or a
it's,
higher DC to get anything.
Yeah,
on.
it's 5th level for
'Cause
cleric.
she's never
I think.
seen him before.
It's
Yeah, so
pretty
she
high
might
up there.
she might be able to cast it,
9.
I
but
do have it,
like,
but it's not prepared.
yep. Alright,
Of course. Alright, Delphin,
I
you're
know.
up.
Very well.
well, you think if you had, actually wait, do I have any idea how Scry works? Probably not. Yeah. Alright.
The
So
only
there's
one
something.
here that knows specifically how it works would be Pharoo, just because.
Yeah.
Or
I shut up.
Well, it does appear that my dear Vincent went ahead and cleaned up after himself quite nicely. As he kind of glances over toward the, clean desk. Well, all right. Well, I believe we have no further need for you apprentices. Thank you very much. You may go about your business. Follow me, everyone, please.
I follow.
Off we go.
Right. So, ba, ba, ba. Ba.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Alright. Good to know.
Ugh.
Don't die.
He gets to the bottom of the steps before turning and going toward the middle door. I believe it's the middle door. Wait. Yes, the middle door that leads up to the third sub-tower that branches off of this primary tower. He goes, all right, well, this is my special quiet place whenever I'm doing this type of thing. Just be silent a moment. Inside, you can see there's this this big domed glass observatory, but you can see that there is some kind of filament that seems to lace its way like across the glass all through the exterior of it, and it kind of reflects in this this silvery kind of sheen. And here you can see that there are telescopes. There's like right in the middle of the room this glowing constellation kind of array floating there in midair. And you can see that he has a mirror in here as well. He walks up to the mirror as he goes. And let me pull up Scry for myself here real quick. He's posting things. Let me see.
Dude, are you good? Holy.
So
Good
yeah, on
lord.
Friday or not Friday, Thursday, I was it was raining, but I was working outside. And I'm guessing that's where I got my cough from. So yeah.
You got tuberculosis, Arthur.
Yep.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait, why is it Arthur?
No,
Is
no,
he talking
no,
about the one
no.
from Red Dead?
No. Yeah, that Arthur.
I still haven't
Man.
played
Yeah.
that.
Oh, Red Dead.
No, could it? I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay. So.
My face when the orb is exactly what we said we did.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
We did guess that pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I could have sworn you could like
Wow.
upcast modify memory or something.
I thought
I don't
so
know, though.
too. Yeah.
All right. So, you see as he kind of lifts his hands out to his side and begins to mutter an incantation under his breath. And somewhere within the words, you hear the words. Holy crap, Vincent and Thay. Before the mirror seems to darken and there seems to be like this swirling within it before the swirling dissipates. And currently, within the mirror is his own reflection. I don't understand. Oh, for the love of gods. Of course it's not that easy.
Well, what are you saying?
The same thing you're seeing. Yeah, take a peek.
I peek.
Oh look! It's you, the culprit!
His hand twitches to his sword again.
Yeah.
But it nods.
Anyways, the scrying spell did not work. When it attempted to latch onto the target, it fizzled, which could be for a number of reasons.
Some kind of protection or counterspell?
I don't know
Yes.
if counterspell is
Actually,
the appropriate word.
DM, what I know about spells on my class spell list, even if I can't cast them.
Yes.
Arthur has counterspell,
In
but
that
I don't
case,
think you would know that.
Actually, there's something I know about this one. It's called non-detection. You can block, scry, and other non-detection spells.
Oh, that's lovely.
Like I say, there can be multiple reasons.
Okay.
Delfen, how long have you had the shuttle in here?
I want to say something like, 6 months? Take a leave?
There had to be so much time and preparation put into all this. Like,
You've only had it for a couple of months. Yeah. It's not a long window.
Now, there's something else I'd like to bring to mind that I didn't before, but it was one of the concerns that I mentioned. Which is, unlike most metals and things like that, from what I'm aware, Chardolin is... It cannot be melted and then added onto itself. Usually when you find Chardolin, what you get is what you get. That, I believe, can be shaped to an extent, but in terms of melting it down, adding it onto itself, it cannot be done very easily. But what I'm saying here is, as opposed to trying to make a journey up to the far north and locating Chardolin that is unguarded, granted that's a chore in and of itself, but what would someone have business with a 100-pound chunk of it with?
You're saying there's more of this stuff elsewhere, and they specifically wanted yours?
Yes, but if you wanted to put it on a staff or put it on a necklace or something like that, you could go and find more accessible pieces of Chardolin than what you would have to go through in order to get into my tower to get it. Right? Because at that rate, they would just take it, and then if they were complete and utter fools, they would break it apart for the appropriate sizes of things that they require. Which is stupid. The only reason they would need to come here was if they needed something that big.
Well, what do you know about Chardolin so far? I mean, I imagine, based off what you've said, the bigger the piece, the stronger the effect, right?
Well, I haven't exactly had a variety of subjects to test it on, per se. But, once Chardolin gets a grip on you, the effect it has is fairly universal. You could take enough to put in an amulet and lay it upon an individual for some time, and I'm sure it would have the same effect as taking a cat nap on a 100-pound shard.
He'll look over to Pharoo real quick as well. Is that about right? Not sure what your experience is with it either, but
Well,
anyone here that also knows.
I actually came into the whole thing, I think a little bit after all the others dealt with Chardolin for the most part, but I did see a few Chardolin objects which I immediately deigned to forego, but from what I'm aware, that seems to be correct. But, you know, Chardolin has one primary effect, but from what I'm aware, it can be used for a variety of things.
Right, like you mentioned earlier, creation and such.
So do we know what anybody would want to make with a 100-pound freaking cube of it?
To put it bluntly, anything that would require even 50 pounds would be overkill. No. Scratch that. 20 pounds would be...
So, it makes items? Creatures? What's the limit?
I'm afraid that I don't know. But it is a catalyst. A catalyst for evil. And it's a very potent one at that. What's a good word for it? It is virulent. It is volatile.
So it's probably best to destroy it if and when we find it.
At this rate, if it comes between having to destroy it and letting it remain in the wrong hands, I know which one I would pick.
Likewise.
Although that is quite the bother. But it has been recently proved to me that no one cares if I go to all this trouble of protecting this thing. He kind of just seems to shout it up into the chamber, and his voice kind of echoes off of the dome walls.
Boo hoo. Womp womp.
There.
Well, not really sure where to go with this next if we can track him or the lot of stuff.
Indeed. Well, whatever all that is about. I'm going to keep my eyes open. I don't know about you, and I'd very much like for the lot of you to try to keep all of this confidential. I do not need townspeople losing their faith in me due to all of this. I had faith in you to come into my tower.
We won't soil your good name.
Do we get to leave now or?
Well, take as much time as you need if you are here to investigate. Sorry, are you trying to loiter? Is that what you're asking?
I meant the city. Are we done?
Oh my gosh. Phenomenal. Arthur's just gonna start making his way out. Angry.
I have a question, yeah. Are we allowed to go now? We've cleared our name, are we? Is he gonna answer? Or?
Delfen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, he thinks for a moment. If there's any chance they're still here, Look, I think one more day of a lockdown wouldn't hurt you lot all too much. After all, there's people trying to get in and out for their livelihoods. I'm sure it's not going to be too much of a bother.
Fine.
Understand, if I make exceptions, other people are going to expect it too. Oh, I'm just a farmer. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. It's going to muddy the waters. So, I'm going to just attempt a bit more of an investigation around here and see if I can determine anything else. After that, you're all free to leave with my confidential information that you specifically asked for in the name of helping me out.
You caught one thing, so
Yes, I do suppose you at least got me started. But still, as he kind of like sneers slightly.
There was one last favor that I wanted to ask, since we're here and all. Wouldn't happen to know or yourself be proficient in magical attunement, would you? Or rather, enchanting items?
He kind of raises an eyebrow. Well,
Did he say well or no?
he said, well,
Ah,
he goes, the Yellow Knife has quite a few tricks up his sleeve. Yes, I know a number of enchantments. What is this favor you're asking?
attempting to make another pair of these. He taps on his earring. These here are earrings of sending. Nothing too fancy, but mighty convenient.
He plucks the earring and kind of like turns it in his hand. Which one did you hand him?
Oh, the one that he was wearing, the silver serpent earring. Because I don't think the smith was done making the other ones yet,
Right.
was he?
It was going
Yeah, we
to
left him there.
take a couple of hours.
Yep. So
Um,
I'm just handing him the one that I'm wearing, for example.
He kind of knits his eyebrows as he looks at this and turns it over in his hand. His gaze flickers up to the rest of you, and you can see that he's like looking at each of your ears and everything. He goes, as he taps a finger to it and goes, testing, testing. You all can hear him through your earphone, or your earphone.
Your earphone, yay.
Earrings. Oh my gosh.
I think that's the closest feedback. No.
He takes his finger off. Puts it back on, testing.
Stop.
Smacks
Takes his
it out.
finger
Yeah.
off again. I'm afraid that might be a bit of a misclassification, my dear boy. These aren't.
Eyebrow raise.
The sending spell works quite different to this. This is something that you can use on command. In fact, it doesn't even use a spell. How far out does it go?
He looks to the others.
I haven't really measured. Probably a few hundred feet. Would
With a
stones
limited,
throw across the town.
indeed, within a limited range such as that, it's definitely not the sending spell that has been imbued within these. Very well. If I have one of these to try and copy, I can see about imbuing a magical item. But I don't
How
just
much will
do
it
favors.
cost?
The cost is thus. I want you to help me out on this little issue of mine.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case. Arthur lets out a bit of a sigh and just kind of, right. Scratch your back, I scratch mine. Sure.
That's backwards.
What? Oh, it's definitely. Oh, I.
You gonna get stuck there,
Sure,
brother?
anyway. Oh, whatever. He's gonna hold out his hand for his earring back.
There you are. I'm not saying
Putting it
you
back
have to
in.
go on something grandiose. I'm not demanding an inquisition. I just want you to keep an eye out. And if you happen to discover anything, please let me know and we can perhaps talk about me perhaps handing you a few gold pieces to try to recover it. Although I shouldn't have to, given the immensity of the situation, but I'm sure you all have to make a living somehow. Mercenaries.
Flint.
Well, I suppose then we can go on a little rat hunt. What do you say, Lebrand? It'll be fun.
What are we agreeing to? We're just gonna look around town and
Look around town, see if we can't find Vincent.
Sure, fine. Okay, well,
Yeah.
All right.
we can stick around for, I guess for now, we'll figure this out.
Try not to get too tied up in the details. I'm just an individual looking for some help. Help in what way you see fit, and I will get your earring. And thus we are bound to try and help one another. Yes?
Arthur
Sounds like a
nods.
deal.
Very well.
Righto.
Well, I do appreciate you all helping myself and my apprentices regain our memories. That is already a great, massive thing. In fact, goodness, I'll say I owe you one for that. Whatever one entails. To be
Much
determined.
appreciated.
Nothing on it. Alright, well, probably go check on the kids. Make sure they haven't tripped over a giant evil crystal something.
Oh my gosh. Right, let's go make sure they're okay.
All right. I trust you know the way out.
Arthur nods and begins making his way out, proving that he does in fact remember.
We head out.
Delfen will
Yeah.
turn around and kind of just like gaze through the dome,
Worried pumpkin.
and you just kind of like hear this echoing voice. You just hear this echoing voice through the tower as you make your way out. And don't touch my stuff.
And don't touch my stuff.
You know, you're a professor. You should be honored that people are so curious about your works.
After last night, I wouldn't say honored is the word. Good day.
Once we get outside, wow, he's a real piece of work.
Yeah, don't say.
Really, yeah, really nice guy. Okay, well, we don't know what this guy is using to dodge scrying. If it is non-detection, it only lasts 8 hours. But I'm sure there's ways to later
Probably
it.
recast it, or
Yeah, you could just cast it again. So we might just have to do this the hard way. And if he's still in the city, find him by asking around or...
right. My suspicions still lie with the Duchess.
Well,
Something's just not sitting right about that.
why?
Something Pharoo was talking about. The way that she just lost her mind. And if this
Look at it.
Charlatan stuff has the capability to eat away at one's good morals, then either someone's planning an attack on her, or she's the one that asked for it. Either way, I don't like our chances.
What happened with the Duchess, Pharoo? Or what happens?
I think that conversation happened while they were waiting for the interrogation, so yeah.
It
actually, I
did,
don't
but
think-
just to reiterate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
like
yeah.
what?
Re-encapsulate everything.
Well, oddly enough, the Duchess seemed fairly kind whenever you lot initially met her, but when you refused her terms, she... Well, I don't know about she, but you refused her terms, you all had a disagreement, and you fought each other to the death. But she seemed to have some kind of grandiose view about things, something about protecting her people and everything.
Does that sound like this Charlatan crap?
Weren't you the one that made mention of a new age?
What does that have to do with this?
Yes.
Nothing good. Edelbrand, do you mind if we talk? He's gonna look at the others separately, if it's all the same.
Look at the
Wait, what
others.
did you say?
Arthur's basically asking to talk to Edelbrand. Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
I
Arthur's
say
asking
something about the
to,
new age? I thought that you were
no.
talking about Pharoo.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Arthur's asking to talk to Edelbrand separately.
Eyebrow raise.
I was actually looking to get in some reading time, as Pharoo flips out a book.
Oh my god, this man always wants to read.
Hey,
Love him.
you do
Never
that.
change.
It's kind of.
Why don't we head to the inn, and then you meet us there when you're done with your conversation?
Yeah, sure.
I know. Good plan.
Jeez. Yeah. Guess we just walk a few steps the other way. What's up?
He's gonna pinch the bridge of his nose, kind of taking a deep breath and letting out a long, drawn-out sigh. Frothera's back in play. I don't know what she's planning. It doesn't sound good. I don't exactly know if she has something planned for here, or if it's even related, but if there's the slightest chance that it is, I don't like our odds.
You think she's behind all this?
I don't know if she's the puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes, but either way, she's related. I don't like the smell of it.
Um, she hates us too. But I think that's really the only connection here.
Be sure she hates everything.
Okay. Specifically. Oh, how? What do you mean she's doing? What even happened?
Someone contacted me recently on my travel here. Was talking about some grand plan, bringing about a new age. New age being the operative phrase here. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I'd rather not take my chances. So if there is a connection between her and the Duchess, I'd rather at least weed out that possibility before it becomes something of a problem.
Is there a way to tell? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, these clerical abilities of mine, there's a way to turn the undead. Well, that's a bit of a stretch if there's even a possibility of that. If she's just crazy, then that's going to be a little more difficult. Could always detect her thoughts unless she tries to block me out. Apparently having that conversation with her sometime in the future sparks an argument, which turns into a fight. So,
don't worry about that. It's whatever. But I still don't really see why she would be involved besides whatever Pharoo has to say. But I mean, if you want to check it out.
I reckon it's better to at least make sure it's not going to be a problem later.
Sure.
Better to be safe than sorry, right, old friend?
Yeah, we can. What's the deal with this alien girl? She's a warlock. She's right here. I mean,
Look, if you really want to go ask her about her patron, that's her business, and not mine to really talk about.
I already did, but what's your deal with her? Why are we bringing her along?
He lets out a bit of an embarrassed sigh. In my saving her from being chased, maybe sort of left her horse and her materials behind, so I owe her money and she's not exactly willing to let me pay it back right away. Prefers my services over payment, so I'm something of a hired guard at this point.
That's it.
He gives a bit of a shrug and just... This is why you have to ask me to give someone CPR. Oh my god!
Yep.
You're not wrong though. Somehow in me saving her life, I've wound up with a debt. Not exactly sure how it works, but she seems to mean well enough. I don't know. I don't exactly trust every bit of her, but slowly getting to know her better, it's a bit of an odd comfort, maybe. I don't know, from one ex-warlock to another, I suppose it's something of a familiarity. There's an understanding there. I don't expect you to understand, but if you trust me, then maybe try to trust her. At least a little bit.
So there's
If
nothing else going on. You just owe her money. And
as far as I can tell, she seems to find me interesting. I don't know. Look, if she really meant harm, she could have done me in on the journey here. Wouldn't have exactly made it. So, the fact that I'm not dead, I think, speaks volumes.
Alright, fine. Still gonna keep an eye on her.
She turns into a bad egg. You're a good shot, and I'm good with a blade, so please tell me it doesn't exactly come to that. Rather put a little more faith in her than that.
Guess we'll see. Alright, well,
Actions will speak louder than pretty words.
if we want to figure something out with Morven, if you think Fatery has something to do with her, then lead that however you want. I don't think I would know better than you, but
He gives a nod. Well, if I end up having any crazy nightmares, I'll be sure you're the first one to tell.
yay. Alright, we go back to the
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they make their way back. And that is my 10-minute warning.
Yeah.
No.
Nashmini, you also
No.
have
I
work tonight, right?
I do. Hopefully
Last.
this is the last week I'll have to do this. Oh, by the way, next week
Yeah.
is beach week. So
Yep.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm getting on a plane on the 13th,
Yep.
which means I'll be there on the 14th. So
So
I
we're
will.
going to have a 2-session break, I believe, from.
Please just
Session.
play without me, please. I'm begging
I
you.
don't
I don't know if you can, man.
Why not? I'm
It's impossible.
1/5 of the group.
Well, like,
I,
Hunter's gonna be there for Beach Week too, no?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
okay, well,
Yeah,
there
that's-
you go.
fits, man.
Okay. Whatever, fine.
Okay. Yep.
And then with other Hunter
That's fine.
being indisposed lately, I don't know.
Yeah, things
That's a
things
possible
will get better
3/5 being
for him.
gone.
I think by next week or something like that. But
Yeah, it seems
he'll
like
be
he's
back.
stabilized.
But yeah, I'd rather just have everybody here to be on the same page for like a session.
I'm sure.
No.
Right.
Don't
If
be
we,
sorry.
we
If
can
I were in
figure
your
out
shoes,
a-
I would go to Beach Week every single time. All right.
Well,
Beach
yeah,
Week is important.
but, like, I
Yeah.
still feel
You're so
bad.
right.
So
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, this is hopefully the last time this will have to happen, because after Beach Week, I think my new schedule is
will-
kicking in, but that's still a rumor, so who really knows? But
Gosh.
yeah,
thought
dude,
your boss
people
had
are
it.
no, because
Oh my goodness.
he works tomorrow, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you'll be able to bring it up then.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we'll go tomorrow, but it's like
Oh, that'll be good.
people are like, I heard someone say they talked to him and they said, and it's like, all right, well, great, thanks. Yeah, but
Well.
anyway, so hopefully this is the last time I'll have to do this, but
no problem.
Good, good.
Yeah, we can continue that conversation after session.
Anyway.
But,
yeah, I have another hour before I actually have to leave, basically.
well, right.
So-
But such being the case, I would very much like for Pharoo to be around for the upcoming discussions and stuff like that. And I want a little bit more prep time for a couple of things that are coming up. Right. So,
Yeah.
such being the case, I think we'll end the session here. We've had about 4 hours of session today, and you guys got a pretty surprising amount done. I didn't expect you guys to make a beeline for the exact right spot to go to
I
figure out that little
refused.
puzzle.
I thought we were gonna go bother the Duchess lady, but turns out this
Thought
is
so
the
too.
correct. we just kinda stumped
Intuition is
the-
my super power.
Yep. So, anyways,
I'm glad that we got that out of the way.
yeah. As Adelbrand and Arthur make their way through the noon sun toward the rest of the Fatebreakers that are currently at the Lady Luck Tavern. We're going to end our session there. That was session 5. And yeah, we're going to take a 2-session break, I guess. But, then we'll be back. So just try to retain your memories, and yeah, thus ends